Chapter 4572. What are you doing? When the dragon dust disappeared, the scarred man looked at the old man and roared. The airflow of death all over his body turned and his killing intention rose. It was obvious that he was extremely angry. I have fulfilled your wishes and sent you to the inheritance place of the nether gods. The old man is neither salty nor light. Then why did you send me back? Are you kidding me? The scarred man shouted. Because I want to meet the young man's wishes. The old man spoke softly. What do you mean? The scarred man looked gloomy. His wish is to get you back. I must satisfy him. The old man continued. You. The scarred man was so angry that his face was black. He roared. You fulfilled his wish but destroyed my wish. Are you mentally ill, you order guardian? Obviously, the scarred man was so angry that he yelled at the old man, but at this time, he had reached the edge of rage and had no so many scruples. I have fulfilled your wish. You said you wanted me to send you to the inheritance place of the underworld god, and I also sent you there. As for the length of stay and whether it will be recalled by others, you didn't say. Facing the scarred man, the old man was not angry and still had a pleasant face. You. The scarred man trembled with anger. He was calculated by the dragon dust. He roared, I'm making a new wish now. I want you to get that guy back. Sorry, your wish has run out and can't be reused. The old man shook his head. He is now the first and I am the second. Doesn't it mean that the first two are qualified to make a wish? The scarred man roared. In fact, he is the first and you are the second, but in theory, you are still the first. The old man walked slowly. Theory is useful, and everything should proceed from reality. The scarred man shouted. Sorry, whether from theory or practice, rules are rules. After the two wishes are used, the third wish will not be generated. The old man shook his head. He looked at the scarred man with a trace of sympathy in his eyes. In addition, the old friendship reminds me that during the time when you quarrel with me, 8 waves of strong people have entered the gate. With dragon dust, it is already 9 waves. If you don't go in, you can't even rank in the top 10. The scarred man was shocked. He looked up and saw that countless figures had rushed into the door. He patronized the quarrel and didn't notice at all. I'm so angry, the scarred man roared, jumped on the bronze chariot, broke his drink, and the white bone war horse rushed forward and rushed straight to the gate. If he cannot enter the top 10, he has a high probability of being transmitted to the periphery of the core. If he is too far away from the core when he arrives at the core, the baby will have been robbed long ago. Boom. You bad old man and that boy are united to calculate me. Wait for me. The bronze chariot roared and sped, and the roar of the scarred man came from inside. Boom. Suddenly, there was a startling explosion, and a 3-color divine light stirred, forming a sky-covering portal in front of the white bone warhorse. The scarred man obviously didn't expect that someone dared to calculate him, and even the horse and car crashed into the 3-color gate. Boom! The 3-color gate trembled. The white bone warhorse and bronze chariot were like hitting the gate of heaven. They were bounced and rolled out. The huge power made the whole world tremble madly. 3 links divine shield? 3 links heaven-swallowing beast? You are looking for death, you guy of you family. The scarred man was stunned by the collision. He suddenly reacted and recognized the origin of the 3-color gate. It is the terrorist magic power of the 3 sky-swallowing beasts. It is said that this magic power has nothing to break even the power of the 3 worlds of heaven, earth, and man. It is precisely because the 3-color gate is so terrible that it is able to stop his white bone warhorse and bronze chariot. I'm sorry, the road of cultivation should be taken seriously. It's a competition between you and me. I hope it won't hurt the friendship between the yous and the nether gods. A powerful voice came from the void. Then a bald man like an iron tower, led by countless strong people of the Yozu, rushed to the gate, and the shot was made by Wu Hun. It turned out that Wu Hun led the Yozu army to fight madly, but he was shocked to find that there were too many strong forces here, and there were 8 waves of forces that impacted faster than him, except the melting beast family. Originally, they were the 9th wave. In this way, the top 10 was appropriate, But I didn't expect the scarred man to kill faster than them. If the scarred man rushed over, they wouldn't be able to enter the top 10. The top 10 is a very important watershed. He has to fight, so he would rather offend the scarred man, and he also wants to fight. The scarred man was still immersed in the anger calculated by dragon dust. At the same time, he was extremely conceited. He didn't expect someone to stop him, so he suddenly suffered a great loss. Friendship %UN at hashtag. Scarface was so angry that he yelled and directed the white bone warhorse to rush forward, but he had lost the first opportunity and could only watch Wu Hun and others enter the door of space. And before Wu Hun entered the door of space, he shouted, "You have a car and a horse. Where can't you go in the magic world? Why lose such a temper? It's out of master style." Wind %UN hashtag. Hearing Wu Hun's words, Scarface was mad and calculated. He was also said to have lost his master's demeanor. This sarcastic remark was too irritating. Boom! The white bone warhorse rushed into the door of the world, but it was half a breath slow at this time. During this time, dozens of powerful forces rushed into the door of space at the same time. No one knows how many places he is. Seeing the white bone warhorse disappear, the old man standing in front of the boundary gate showed a strange smile on his face. The young people of this year are so energetic. It's nice to be young. When the old man finished speaking, his body slowly became transparent, and then disappeared, as if he had never appeared. Buzz, the void trembled. Feng Yu and other strong people of the melting beast family appeared, and they were transported to the top of a high mountain. Dragon dust? Where's dragon dust? Feng Yu screamed, and other strong people of the melting beast family also screamed. The transmission was completed, and the dragon dust disappeared. Brother Longshan should have been transferred to other places. After all, he is a Terran. A strong man of the melting beast family. Hearing this, they could not help nodding secretly. This was reasonable. The first person to enter could easily be transmitted to their own opportunities. However, people rushed here with the dragon dust all the way. Now the dragon dust disappeared. It seemed that they had lost their backbone at once, and a sense of loss arose spontaneously. "Look, what's that?" Suddenly someone exclaimed. Not far behind them, there was a huge space crack. "God, that's the entrance of the Xianling world. We're on the edge of the entrance. Zunlingji, there is the origin and inheritance of our melting beast family. It is actually in front of us." At that moment, the strong men of the melting beast family shouted excitedly. They only know that the entrance of the mysterious spirit world is hidden somewhere in the magic spirit world. Looking for an entrance in such a big world is like looking for a needle in a haystack, but they didn't expect that it was right in front of them. This luck was against the sky. Feng Yushin took a deep breath, pressed down his concern for the dragon dust, and said to the people, "Go into the Xianling world to find the inheritance of our melting beast family." With these words, all the strong people of the melting beast race rushed into the space crack and disappeared in an instant. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4573, Buzz. The space around dragon dust is distorted and appears in a desolate world. Looking at it, the strange rocks are jagged and endless. There is no grass and no vitality here. What's the matter? Isn't it the first person to come in? Will it be transmitted to the best place? Dragon Man thought he would be transported to a place full of treasure. Just bend down and you can pick up rare medicines, rare minerals, powerful magic soldiers, and so on. But here, there is no hair except bare stones. Suddenly, Dragon Dust felt something different. The dragon blood in his body began to flow slowly and gradually became hot. Dragon Dust was surprised. He gave birth to induction and immediately turned his head. Good guy. Even with the calm of Dragon Dust, I couldn't help jumping wildly. At that moment, I even forgot to breathe. In that direction, Dragon Dust saw 10,000 dragon nests, and there was more than one. Several 10,000 dragon nests were superimposed and stood on the sky. Ha, I'm rich. When Dragon Dust saw those 10,000 dragon nests, He couldn't help shining his eyes and showed a color of ecstasy on his face. If they were included in the chaotic space, they would really be developed. The wings of Kunpeng fluttered behind the dragon dust, and people galloped away like a meteor. However, the 10,000 dragon nests were huge, looked very close, but flew very far. Long Chun flew for half an hour before he approached the 10,000 dragon nests. When he approached the 10,000 dragon nests, Long Chen was even more shocked. Originally, he only saw 3 or 5 10,000 dragon nests, but when he approached, he found that there was a sea of 10,000 dragon nests in front of him, just like a cemetery, and there was no end at all. It is estimated that there are tens of thousands of dragon dust alone, and it is only on the periphery. I don't know how many there are inside. This time, Long Chen was completely shocked. When Long Chen approached the first Wanlong nest and stroked the wall of Wanlong nest, the surprise on Long Chen's face was immediately swept away. Shit, I knew my luck was not so good. My life was exhausted. The 10,000 dragon nest has been abandoned. Click, Dragon Dust's big hand exerted a little force, and the wall of the 10,000 dragon nest was buckled down by Dragon Dust. This 10,000 dragon nest is of no use to Dragon Dust. No, Dragon Dust suddenly changed his face slightly, galloped to the side like a streamer, and stopped at an entrance of Wanlong nest. No, I wasn't the first to come in? Why did someone get there first? Long Chun squatted on the ground and looked carefully at the traces on the ground to make sure that someone had just entered. The time was about 1 incense stick, and more than one person entered. Go in and have a look. Dragon Dust hid and just walked into the channel. Suddenly the outside world roared and burst. When Dragon Dust turned his head, he saw countless powerful people roaring and coming. Their chi and blood were surging, their fury was abnormal, and their powerful blood pressure made people tremble. Dragon people! When he felt the breath of those people, Long Chen was shocked. Although the strong who entered before hid the breath, Long Chen could sense that they should also come from the dragon family. Now there are a group of strong dragon people. I'm afraid there are amazing secrets hidden in this place. Long Chen doesn't want to disturb these people and gallops forward along the channel. This is the abandoned 10,000 dragon nest. Many places in it have been artificially destroyed. Even Dragon Dust has seen many depictions. However, none of these characters Long Chen knows, not immortal. According to Long Chen's inference, it is likely to be a unique character of the dragon nationality. As for what is recorded above, it is nothing more than Zhang San, Li Si, Wang Ma Zi and so on. Long Chen is too lazy to study it. Every 10,000 dragon nest has a main channel, which leads to the core of the 10,000 dragon nest. It is not only the residence of the Dragon King, but also the most important core of the dragon nest. Soon, the Dragon Dust reached the core area. Before that, the Dragon Dust got the 10,000 dragon nest of the Ming dragon family. In this area, there is a bright dome, on which are huge spars. That crystal stone is the precious dragon crystal. After the giant dragon dies, he leaves his own dragon crystal. These dragon crystals are the power core driving the whole dragon nest. However, there are indeed countless pits on the dome, and most of the dragon crystals have been detained. Although there are still some small dragon crystals left in the edge area, the dragon crystal has become dim and there are cracks on it. These dragon crystals should have been crystal clear and emitting divine brilliance. Now this appearance shows that they have exhausted all their energy and have no use value. And those pits are also full of cracks, which shows that these dragon crystals have been abandoned before they are taken down. The reason why they were taken away is that some people went back to collect them as decorations or booty. In short, those dragon crystals have no meaning except to see them. And look at the spots on those pits. They are all traces left by the erosion of years, which shows that they have long been taken away, not by the people who have just entered. Dragon Dust galloped along the passage and soon got out of the 10,000 dragon nest, and then entered another 10,000 dragon nest, pursuing traces all the way. Long Chen doesn't know what's hidden here, but seeing the traces of these people moving forward very quickly, with a familiar posture, Long Chen knows that it's right to follow them. Soon there was a voice in front. Long Chen knew that he was going to catch up with these people, so he slowed down. Your Highness, this time, The door of the Dragon Kingdom is fully opened. There are too many strong people entering the magic world. I'm afraid that many people will stare at us because they can't grab their inheritance. Just then, a man's voice came from the front. The man's voice was full of worry. There's no way, the torrent is surging and the villains are in charge. Our white dragon family can't be alone. If they just want to use the ancestral blood of our white dragon family to purify their blood, we don't need to stop. Being kind to others has always been the purpose of our white dragon family. At this time, there was a voice, a faint tunnel. What Longchen didn't expect was that the voice of the answer came from a woman. The voice was gentle, quiet, and soft. It made people feel like a spring breeze. Just hearing this voice can make people feel cordial to the owner of the voice. White Dragon Clan? Longchen was stunned. He unexpectedly met the legendary White Dragon family here. The White Dragon family has always been independent of the world and rarely kills. It has almost no reputation in the outside world. Longchen Expo Group has indeed heard of them. I'm afraid they won't be willing to accept the purification of ancestral blood and want to take ancestral scales as their own. At that time, the man couldn't help saying. At this point, he couldn't go on. Although our White Dragon family is kind to others, it is not easy to bully. Whoever dares to take away the precious treasure of our family, we should fight with our lives. The woman said, although her voice was gentle, she said it firmly. Haha, it's a big joke to fight with your life. The White Dragon family is just a sheep of the dragon family. What can you fight with others? Just then, there was a sneer ahead. At this time, the strong men of the White Dragon family shouted, Dark Dragon Clan. When Longchen heard about the Ming Dragon family, he couldn't help approaching forward and looked forward secretly from a rock wall. When he saw the picture clearly in front of him, Longchen couldn't help but be stunned. www.mylovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4574 ahead is the core hall of the 10,000 Dragon Nest. In the hall, tens of thousands of strong men in white robes look at each other with a large group of strong men in black robes. People in white robes are the strong ones of the White Dragon family. Their identity is easy to identify, because their chi and blood, although powerful, are extremely peaceful and won't make people feel any discomfort. If we say that the chi and blood of other dragon families are like mountain torrents, while the chi and blood of the White Dragon family are like calm lake water, giving people a feeling of seclusion and affinity. What Longchen didn't expect is that those strong people who wear black robes and have 10 times more people than the White Dragon family are the strong people of the Ming Dragon family. However, Longchen doesn't know any of these people. It seems that there are so many branches of the Dark Dragon family. The guy headed by him has some skills. Longchen glanced at the leader of the Dark Dragon family. His breath was similar to that of Fengyu, but his strength was still slightly inferior to that of Fengyu. When Longchen looked at the front of the White Dragon family, he saw a beautiful woman in white dress and white ribbon. The woman's eyes are like peach blossoms, her skin is white than snow, and her long hair falls down her waist. Her black hair and white clothes set off her like a 9-day fairy who doesn't eat fireworks. At this time, the woman in white, with her eyebrows locked, looked at the strong man of the Ming Dragon family in front of her and said coldly, "Even sheep have hard horns. Even in the face of tigers and jackals, they have a chance to kill them with one blow." Haha, kill with one blow? This chance seems too slim. I've seen tigers eat sheep, but I've never seen sheep kill tigers. Your horns are just furnishings. The leader of the Dark Dragon family sneered. The man's face was thin and could not scrape 4 or 2 pieces of meat off his cheeks. With this smile, it was like a layer of skin rolled up, and the folds could kill mosquitoes. It looked strange and ferocious. Who are you and dare to be unreasonable to your highness? Beside the woman in white, a strong man of the White Dragon family, with his hand on his waist and a long sword, shouted fiercely. What? Just because you want to challenge me? Forget it, your sheep horn can't hurt me. The thin-faced strong man of the Dark Dragon family sneered and looked disdainful. You. The strong man of the White Dragon family was so despised that he became angry. Those who can enter here are all experts among experts, and they are very young. They can't stand this ridicule, so they have to draw a sword and start. Wait, the woman in white stretched out her hand to stop the man, turned her head to the thin-faced man and said, "You stop us. Do you want to compete with us? If so, Ing Shue will accompany you." The woman in white is neither humble nor arrogant. She is not afraid of the thin man. Her breath is still calm, but it gives people a deep feeling. Long Chen hid behind and looked at it. The woman's breath was very calm. It was difficult to judge her real combat power from the fluctuation of breath. However, from the experience of Long Chen, he felt that the thin guy like a chicken was not her opponent. "Ah, Your Highness, the White Dragon misunderstood. We just passed by here and listened to the wild words of the White Dragon family. We couldn't help but come out and point out your wrong ideas. Although I have never seen His Highness Bai Long, I have heard a lot about His Highness Bai Long. I can't bear to let the White Dragon family go astray." The thin-faced man laughed. "Oh, what is going astray?" asked the woman in white. This time, the gate of the Dragon Kingdom was opened on the largest scale in history. Countless dragon elite entered the magic world, and even the monsters in the seal were awakened. The influx of so many super strong people into the land of Dragon Burial not only sweeps all the treasure lands, but also impacts the altar in the land of Dragon Burial. Your ancestral scales of the White Dragon family can't be taken away by yourself. Naturally, they will be taken away by others. If you block them, you will only die. The thin-faced man spoke softly. As for our White Dragon family, if we have the ability to take away the ancestral scales, don't bother you. The woman in white said, "I'm kind to remind you that you white dragons will certainly suffer heavy losses in this 10,000 dragon war. However, I have a suggestion which can ensure the safety of your White Dragon family and collect ancestral scales safely." The thin-faced man smiled. Before the woman in white spoke, a man beside her sneered, "We don't believe that you Ming dragons are so kind." "Yes, we are really not so kind. We can't get up early without profit. Of course, we need to get something to help you," the thin-faced man said with a smile. "What do you want?" the man of the White Dragon family said. "Oh, your Royal Highness." The thin-faced man pointed to the woman in white. "Choke." The man's voice fell, and the strong men of the White Dragon family, all of them were shred and killed, and this fellow had so humiliated their respected Royal Highness. At the moment when the White Dragon family showed their weapons, the strong men of the Dark Dragon family also showed their weapons and the war was imminent. "Hey, what are you doing? Put away your weapons and offend your highness. Can you afford it? Don't die?" The thin-faced man yelled at his men. The strong men of the Dark Dragon family looked confused and didn't know what the thin-faced man meant. The thin-faced man turned his head and looked at the woman in white with a frosty face and said, "Well, the young master of my family, the future ruler of the Ming Dragon family, has long heard of your beauty and wisdom and wants to be close to you. Look." "Get out." The woman in white finally couldn't bear it, she shouted coldly. An elegant and quiet woman was so angry that it was obvious that the thin-faced man completely angered her. The dragon, a proud race, would rather die standing than live kneeling. The White Dragon is famous for its arrogance. Although they are not the most powerful, they value honor the most. They are kind to others, but they will never be bullied by others. Marriage has never happened in the history of the dragon nationality. Marriage is the most unacceptable humiliation among the dragon nationality. Therefore, the thin-faced man's words suddenly angered all the strong men of the White Dragon family. For the White Dragon family, it was intolerable blasphemy and humiliation. "No, I tell you, our young master is the leader of the 872 branch of the Pluto Dragon family this time and the highest power controller of the Pluto Dragon family in the future. His strength is so strong that I can't imagine. I don't even deserve to be his attendant. Don't you really plan to think about it?" the thin-faced man said. The woman in white didn't speak. The jade hand slowly pressed the hilt of the sword around her waist. The thin-faced man quickly stepped back and smiled and said, "Don't get excited, don't get excited. It's not urgent. Let you think about it slowly." By the way, let me tell you, our young master's name is Minglong Tianzhao. If you think it through, you can contact our young master at any time, ha! The thin-faced man laughed as he retreated. Looking at the anger of the strong men of the White Dragon family, he seemed very proud. Just about to lead people to leave, a disdainful voice came, "What is Minglong Tianzhao? I beat him all over the ground looking for teeth last time. Haven't you got a long memory?" www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4575. Originally, the thin-faced man was proud, and the women in white and all the strong men of the White Dragon family were angry. At this time, a lazy voice came, and everyone was stunned. The thin-faced man's smile disappeared in an instant, but it was replaced by a cold and fierce color. He shouted, "Who? Get out of here. Young man, don't be too arrogant, otherwise you will pay a terrible price for your arrogance." As a disdainful voice came, a handsome man in black robe came out of the passage slowly. At that moment, all the eyes of the strong men of the Ming Dragon family and the White Dragon family focused on him. Dragon Dust didn't intend to come out, but this guy mentioned the Dark Dragon Tianzhao, and Dragon Dust was interested at once. Last time, Minglong Tianzhao sacrificed himself and ran away from Longchen. Longchen always remembered this thing in his heart. He vaguely felt that it was not over. Minglong Tianzhao sacrificed himself to the Ming Emperor, and Longchen had a hunch that Minglong Tianzhao might come back because Yu Qingxian was infected with cause and effect with the Ming Emperor. However, after waiting so long, Longchen almost forgot the name of Minglong Tianzhao. He was mentioned here again. Seeing that the thin-faced man was about to leave, Longchen came out directly. "For you." The thin-faced man of the Ghost Dragon family shouted again. Because the dragon dust hit his breath deeper than the woman in white, he couldn't see the details of the dragon dust and didn't rush. "What are you, and you are qualified to ask me? Go back and call the Dark Dragon Tianzhao. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel." Die. The thin-faced man was very angry. Suddenly his chi and blood burst out, and a dragon roared. A black ghost dragon shadow appeared behind him. At the moment when the ghost dragon shadow appeared, his whole person had disappeared. Pa! Suddenly, there was a loud explosion in the void. People didn't see what was going on. A figure hit the throne in the center of the hall like a meteor, and the huge force directly smashed the throne into powder. Then an embarrassed figure climbed out of the ruins. At that moment, both the strong of the Ming Dragon family and the strong of the White Dragon family looked shocked. The woman in white was shocked. Just now everything happened so fast that others didn't see it clearly. They didn't know what happened. But she could see clearly that the thin-faced man was actually very insidious. He broke out a vision just to confuse others. While everyone was attracted by the vision, he used a secret method and came to Longchen. Longchen started waving his arm and pumping into the void before he broke out. When Longchen pulled out half of his arm, the thin-faced man just appeared. Coincidentally, Longchen's big hand just pulled there, as if the thin-faced man deliberately catered his face to the actions of Longchen. Except for the woman in white, the reason why everyone didn't see clearly was that they were confused by the vision of the thin-faced man. In other words, his move was effective for everyone except Longchen and the woman in white. Little garbage, play sneak attack. Now, does your face hurt? The dragon dust shook his hand, as if nothing had happened. In fact, Longchen was shocked. His slap was very strong. Although Lei Linger didn't cooperate, it was reasonable enough to blow his face. But Longchen obviously underestimated the guy's body. After Longchen slapped him, he just printed a handprint on his face. His face was swollen, but he didn't hurt his bones, which proved that this man's defense was extremely strong. The thin-faced man was stunned. He didn't understand what had just happened. As soon as his eyes flowed, he felt that he flew out in a whirl. Climbing out of the ruins, he saw that everyone looked at him in horror, heard the ridicule of Longchen, and there was a burning pain on his face. At that moment, his head was buzzing. Damn bastard, die for me. The thin-faced man was furious. He had never suffered such humiliation in his life. Boom! His whole body was burning with chi and blood, and his breath soared several times in a moment. The violent power shook the whole 10,000 dragon nest, as if it would collapse at any time. In the vision behind him, a huge dragon head appeared. The dragon opened its mouth and a black giant sword came straight to the dragon dust. At the moment of the giant sword stabbing, the blood color on the thin-faced man's face disappeared for a moment. Boom! The giant sword penetrates the void and carries the breath of violent destruction. Obviously, under the fury, the strong man of the Nether Dragon family launched the strongest unique move. Buzz Longchen's bloody long knife appeared. The stars on the long knife lit up, 1 or 2 thousands of stars. The long knife was filled with stars for a moment and cut off against the giant sword. Boom! A knife shadow rose into the sky, pierced the 10,000 cage nest, cut the black giant sword, went up against the current and went straight to the thin-faced man to cut it off. What? At this time, the thin-faced man's eyes were full of fear. He didn't expect that his strongest magic power was cut open by a sword. The most terrible thing was that the sword of dragon dust was as powerful as a bamboo, which had been cut in front of him. Poof! The thin-faced man, too late to make any response, was cut by a knife, and then the whole man stood still. Boom! At this time, the whole 10,000 dragon nest was shaking, and then in the eyes of countless people, the 10,000 dragon nest began to crack slowly. One knife cut open the 10,000 dragon nest. The strong men of the white dragon family exclaimed. At this time, the body of the thin-faced man who stood still was divided into 2 parts from the center of the eyebrow to the crotch, and divided into 2 parts with the whole dragon nest at the same time. The 10,000 cage nest roared and burst, because it had already lost its supporting power, coupled with the erosion of years. It could not resist the power of the sword of the dragon dust. In the continuous collapse and endless dust flying, the strong people of the dark dragon family were all frightened. They wanted to escape, but their pride did not allow them to escape. They wanted to fight, but their life instinct told them that it was stupid. They stood in place for a moment and were stupid. When the 10,000 dragon nest collapsed, the dust gradually scattered on the ground, and the whole world became quiet. The strong men of the dark dragon family and the white dragon family looked at the dragon dust. Pa! The bloody long knife was slowly buckled on the buckle behind him. Long Chen looked at the body of the thin-faced man and said coldly, "I didn't want to kill you and didn't care to kill you. But your mouth is not clean and annoying." Originally, Long Chen really didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to teach him a lesson. He wanted to pry open his mouth and confirm whether the Ming Long Tianzhao in his mouth was the Ming Long Tianzhao. But this guy's sentence, "damn bastard," came out of his mouth and took his life in. Once the bloody long saber is injected with the power of the stars, it will become invincible and everything will be broken. Although it can't bear all the power of the stars of the dragon dust, it only needs part of the power of the stars, and this person can't resist it. However, what Longchen didn't expect is that the bloody long knife is rapidly adapting to the power of the stars of Longchen. The power of this knife is much greater than Longchen expected, which is a very gratifying discovery. Longchen turned his head and looked at the strong man of the Ming dragon family. He pointed to one of them. "Have you ever seen the dark dragon sky?" The man trembled with fear, but he bit his teeth and said calmly, "I don't have such good luck. Go away. If you see the sky light of the dark dragon, pass me a word. There is a man named Longchen. Let him wash his neck and wait." The strong men of the Ming dragon family were relieved and retreated slowly. Seeing that the dragon dust didn't mean to take action, they hurried away. The dark dragon family left, and the dragon dust was ready to leave, but the woman in white opened her mouth. "Friend, please stay." www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4576. What's your advice, girl? Longchen turned his head and looked at the woman in white. The woman in white looked at Longchen, and a different color appeared in her eyes. At that moment, Longchen felt a little cold in his heart, because at that moment, Longchen found that the dragon blood in his body had a subtle reaction. Obviously, the woman in white saw something. A look of disbelief appeared in her eyes, but she forced the shock down and asked tentatively, "You just called yourself Dragon Dust. Can I call you Brother Long?" "Of course." Dragon Dust responded. "Little sister Baing Shue, I've seen Brother Long." The woman in white saluted Longchen slightly. Longchen hurriedly returned the gift, which was also a supplementary meeting gift. Although the woman in white is a dragon, her speech and behavior are all human style, which surprised Longchen. "Brother Long, do you really know Minglong Tianzhao?" Baing Shue asked. "Well, if the Minglong Tianzhao in the population is the same as the Minglong Tianzhao I know, it's really a little grudge." Dragon Dust rode. Although Longchen feels that these two people are basically one person, he doesn't dare to say too much. If Brother Long doesn't give up, how about moving forward together? Baing Shue offered an invitation. "That's better," Longchen said with a smile. Of course he won't refuse. He can just inquire about the situation here. Originally, Longchen wanted to catch a strong man here to search for souls, but two strong people may not be able to catch them. Even if they can catch them, there may be restrictions in their souls, so it is difficult to find useful things. If you catch a person with average strength, people may not know many secrets. It is a waste of effort. Seeing Bai Yingshu's invitation, Longchen naturally wants it. Longchen and Bai Yingshue move forward side by side. Bai Yingshue is very fast. He seems to be very familiar with this place. He doesn't hesitate. "Brother Long, to tell you the truth, my younger sister is very curious about the breath of Brother Long. How can you have such a pure but full of imperial spirit?" Bai Yingshue sidewalk. Of course, if the little sister's words touch Brother Long's privacy, Brother Long, please don't be surprised, just be the little sister. Bai Yingshue is polite and soft-spoken. She is very comfortable and leaves room for others everywhere. It is difficult to refuse her question. If she refuses, it will be too abrupt. In fact, it's nothing. I just got the inheritance of a dragon elder by chance. Longchen smiled. For the White Dragon family, Longchen has known for a long time. He knows that they are kind-hearted and don't need to be too defensive. However, Longchen is still silent about the elder of the dragon family. This kind of thing involves too much. He doesn't dare to reveal anything. "Brother Long, have you ever heard of the Emperor clan in the Dragon Clan?" Bai Yingshue looks at the Dragon Dust Path. "Emperor clan? What's that?" Longchen was stunned. He really hadn't heard of the name. "Nothing. Since Brother Long hasn't heard of it, I won't say much. We white dragons act all by perception. Especially for the perception of good and evil, I was very sensitive, so when I first saw Brother Long, I knew that Brother Long was not a bad man. In particular, I feel that Brother Long has the blessing of Imperial Qi. I believe that the person who can get such an opportunity against the sky is definitely not a bad person, so I pull Brother Long to go with me." Bai Yingshue rode. "Emperor? Imperial spirit? Is it related to the dragon blood on me? Then the mysterious dragon elder. What does Dragon Dust feel when he thinks of this? By the way, Brother Long, no matter whether the dark dragon skylight in your mouth is the dark dragon skylight we know, you must be careful. This person's terrible is beyond words." Bai Yingshue suddenly said, and her face was full of dignity. "But this dark dragon skylight is very terrible?" Dragon Dust couldn't help asking. "Yes, it's terrible. I haven't seen him, but his name has been heard like thunder. He is a genius rising like a comet. No one had heard of him a month ago, but in the recent month, he has killed countless talents of all ethnic groups. Even the strong man at my level, in his hands, no one can survive the 3 moves. He is extremely arrogant, domineering, and reckless, and has the posture of unifying the dragon family. This time when the gate of the Dragon Kingdom was opened, he threatened to get the Emperor's scale in the altar of the Dragon Tomb. He also claimed that whoever dared to block it, don't blame him for his ruthlessness." Bai Yingshue rode. It turned out that Bai Yingshue and others came from Longyu. It was a mysterious and ancient place. It was not within 9 days. The opening time of Longyu seemed to be half a day earlier than that of Longchen, so Longchen was the first to send in and still had to slow down. So arrogant? By the way, what is the Emperor scale? Dragon Dust asked. The Emperor scale is what I call the inverse scale of the Emperor's strong. The dragon family has millions of species and hundreds of millions of branches, but no matter how many races and branches there are, they all evolved from the real dragon family. The real dragon family is the orthodoxy of the dragon family, but the ethnic group of the real dragon family is also extremely large. Although the blood is the same among the real dragon family, their respective magic powers are different. But there is one race in the real dragon family that can control all dragon gods, that is the Emperor family. If you get the essence blood of the imperial family, you can control all the magical skills derived from the whole dragon family and no longer stick to the bondage of blood. For example, the dark dragon Tianzhao was born in the dark dragon family. All his magic powers are the exclusive magic powers of the dark dragon family. However, once you get the imperial scale and the imperial blood blessing, you can cross-border control the magical powers of all dragon families, including the special power of our white dragon family. Bai Yingxue explained. So strong? Dragon Dust was startled. Originally, Long Chen thought that the dragon blood in his body was the essence blood of the Emperor family, but when he heard Bai Yingxue say so, Long Chen began to doubt, because the strong man of the dragon family never told him that he could cultivate the magical powers of other dragon families. At present, the actual combat magic powers controlled by Long Chen are Dragon Xiao Jiutian, Dragon wagging its tail and Cloud Dragon offering its claws. Other moves have not been learned. In addition, the dragon blood power of Long Chen does not contain any attributes, because the distance is close enough. Long Chen feels the vigorous water system power on Bai Yingxue, which shows that the white dragon family where Bai Yingxue is located is a strong water attribute strong person. The dragon blood in Long Chen's body has no such power, which can't help but arouse Long Chen's suspicion. This is not the strongest. The strongest thing is that the imperial family's original divine power has been cultivated to the extreme. It is said that it can reach the point of immortality. In previous years, the door of the Dragon Kingdom was opened, but there were certain restrictions on the Bone Age, Soul Age and Blood Age of practitioners. Therefore, many practitioners were restricted and could not enter. In particular, some super monsters were blocked by the gate of the Dragon Kingdom and had to choose self-seal because they practiced in different time and space, and their Bone Age, Soul Age and Blood Age were disordered. But this time it's different. The gate of Longyu is fully open. There are no restrictions on Bone Age, Soul Age and Blood Age. As long as the realm meets the requirements, all can come in. Therefore, this time, the scale is unprecedented, the monsters are endless, and almost everyone goes to the Emperor scale. But even in this case, the dark dragon Tianzhao still released such words. It can be seen that he is full of confidence. Bai Yingxue rode. In this case, it will be interesting. By the way, are you interested in Emperor scales? Long Chen asked tentatively. Bai Yingxue shook her head and said with a wry smile, we can't even collect our own ancestral scales, so we won't join the excitement. Hey, that's easy. It's decided. Beat the Minglong Tianzhao again, and then put the Emperor's scales into his bag from his eyes. Long Chen smiled, and a sinister radiance appeared at the corners of his mouth. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel.
https://www.novelcool.com/chapter/9-star-hegemon-body-arts-chapter-4577/9970557 Hegemon Body Arts 4577 Chapter 4577 Chapter 4577 Dragon Dust moves forward with the White Dragon family. Through understanding, Dragon Dust knows that this place is called Dragon Tomb because millions of dragon nests are buried here. According to the historical records of the White Dragon family, there was a terrorist war in ancient times. The once world was turned into ruins and sunk by the whole. The whole world was buried. There were countless other cemeteries besides the Dragon Tomb. Because they were all dragon people, they came to the Dragon Tomb for the first time after entering here. The strong men of the Dragon region have detailed maps of the Dragon Tomb, recording how to get to their inheritance route as soon as possible. According to Bai Yingxue,
dragon tombs have been formed for countless years. At the beginning, these 10,000 dragon nests were full of vitality. However, without the maintenance of the strong ones of the dragon family, the 10,000 dragon nests are slowly destroyed. The 10,000 dragon nests in the peripheral areas are relatively weak dragon nests, so they are the first to perish. In the core area of the 10,000 dragon nest, because of the blessing of the Emperor scale, they still maintain strong vitality. The 10,000 dragon nest of the white dragon family is in the core area. In the 10,000 dragon nest of the white dragon family, the Zulong inverse scale is completely preserved. However, because it is completely preserved, the sealed power inside is terrible. The white dragon family has been unable to retrieve the Zulong inverse scale for countless years. In fact, not only the white dragon family, but also other dragon families are similar. If you want to take out the inverse scale, you not only have to bear the impact of the sacred force of the ancestral dragon inverse scale, but also resist the divine power of the 10,000 dragon nest. The 10,000 dragons nest here is different from the 10,000 dragons nest obtained by dragon dust. The 10,000 dragons nest here is even more terrible, with the blessing of the ancestral dragon. Zulong, the ancestor dragon that created a branch, expressed in the human language, is the grandmaster who created a school. The dragon family is inherited by blood, and the Zulong created a tributary again on the basis of the original blood magic. This existence may not be able to produce one in millions of years among the dragon family. In fact, strength, talent and blood are unimaginable. Even after years of erosion, the strength of anti-scale has consumed less than 10%. It is still difficult to subdue the anti-scale left by such an existence. This is an easily discouraged task. According to the calculation, the strength of Zulong's anti-scale is very low because of the relationship of homology. It only needs to pass the most basic test to accept the anti-scale. However, no one has passed the most basic test for countless years, so Bai Yingshi's eyes are dazed when she talks about Zulong's inverse scale. Obviously, she has no confidence in subduing the inverse scale, but because the dragon tomb has been opened, she has to come hard. According to Bai Yingxue, the ancestral dragon of the white dragon family has a sacred power and can purify blood. Even if they can't collect the Zulong inverse scale, they can also accept the blood purification of Zulong inverse scale, and the benefits are as amazing. Although they can't be reborn, they can also greatly improve their strength, and may even awaken some ancient gods. However, even if the harvest is so huge, it is still a far cry from taking back the scales and bringing them back to the clan. You know, if you bring the inverse scale back to the family, everyone in the family, regardless of age and accomplishments, can accept the baptism of dragon blood, and the blood purity of the whole family will be greatly improved. When the blood is raised, the offspring will be more likely to awaken stronger blood. This will be a virtuous circle and revive a race. That's why the strong of the major dragon races are so desperate to bring the Zulong out, which is related to the rise and fall of the whole race. Brother Long, although you are a Terran, I always feel that there is a strong imperial spirit in your blood. If you trust me, you can follow us to the dragon nest of the white dragon family and accept the baptism of the sacred power of the ancestral dragon, which may awaken your sleeping imperial chi. Bai Yingxue Road. Looking at Bai Yingshi's pure eyes, Longchen couldn't help sighing. Unexpectedly, there was such a kind branch as the spirit family in the dragon family. Of course I can trust you. Thanks to your care, Long Chen has the cheek to borrow light from you. Dragon Dust Boxing. Seeing Long Chen's promise, Bai Yingxue said with a smile, Brother Long is too polite. Brother Long has endless potential. He must be a great man in the Terran, otherwise he won't be added by Emperor Qi. With the company of Brother Long, we white dragons have a lot more sense of security. We should thank Brother Long. Ha, easy to say, easy to say. Long Chen laughed. Bai Yingxue was quiet on the outside, but he was as forthright as a man. This may still be influenced by the blood of the dragon family. Bai Yingxue disdains to lie. She invites Longchen to see if the ancestral dragon of the white dragon family can help Longchen improve. From the appearance of dragon dust, not only Bai Yingxue, but also the strong men of the whole white dragon family faintly felt the imperial spirit of dragon dust. Different from other dragon families, the perception of the white dragon family is the most powerful. Therefore, no one in the white dragon family has ever suspected the dragon dust, let alone had any vigilance against the dragon dust. This is similar to Long Chen. Long Chen gets along with people all by perception. His perception has never deceived him over the years. Dragon dust and the white dragon family go together. It is mutually beneficial for both dragon dust and the white dragon family. Just as the white dragon family was speeding, a group of strong people passed them in the channel. At the moment of contact with the strong people, the air was filled with strange fishy smell. Poisonous dragons? Long Chen was slightly surprised. There was a poisonous smell on these people. As a danshio, Long Chen was very sensitive to poisonous gas. Although the group didn't deliberately expose it, they couldn't hide it from Long Chen's nose and recognized their identity at once. When the strong members of the poisonous dragon family saw a man mixed with the white dragon family, they immediately felt very surprised and couldn't help looking at the dragon dust more. However, the strong men of the poisonous dragon family did not provoke Long Chen. They did not know whether it was taken from the reputation of the white dragon family or in a hurry. Although they recognized Long Chen, they did not take any drastic action. As they moved on, when the crowd came to the core hall of the 10,000 dragon nest, there was a roar, a loud bang, and a figure rushed straight to the white dragon family like a lightning bolt. The figure is very fast and there is no sign in advance. When the people react, the figure has rushed to Bai Yingxue. Bai Yingxue is about to move. A big hand caught the figure. Poof! To everyone's surprise, the man suddenly burst out with blood. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4578, Brother, are you okay? It was Long Chen who caught the man. He was a strong dragon, but his face was pale and his eyes were angry and unwilling. But I'm the most outstanding genius in the family. Why can't I resonate with Zhu Lin? If I can't even resonate, how can I subdue Zhu Lin? The man roared. At this time, he had fallen into a state of madness. At this time, his other clansmen also came forward one after another. They saw that the man roared, punched out, and the vigorous wind stirred. His clansmen were scared to pieces by his terrible breath. Suddenly, a slender, white jade-like finger touched the man's eyebrows. The man's body trembled slightly, and the angry color on his face disappeared. He looked at Bai Yingxue in front of him with a shocked face and quickly saluted. I have seen your highness the white dragon. Obviously, the man recognized Bai Yingxue's identity. How easy is it to get Zhu Lin's approval? Impatience can't solve any problems, it will only make things worse. If you want to resonate with Zhu Lin, you first need to know how to communicate with Zhu Lin. Only after establishing communication can you know where you are poor. If you can know the conditions for Zhu Lin's approval, even if you can't subdue Zhu Lin this time, you have made great contributions to the family and laid the foundation for the next surrender. The so-called inheritance is to pass and undertake. Everyone has his own mission. When the protagonist is not you, you should recognize what you need to do instead of losing your temper. Bai Yingxue rode. After listening to Bai Yingxue's words, the strong man of the dragon family was ashamed and said respectfully, Thank your highness for reminding me. I understand. Bai Yingxue nodded, and then took the crowd to move on. Long Chen looked curiously at the middle of the hall, where a scale more than 3 feet high was indeed suspended. As like as 2 peas, there is a rune, which contains a terrible dragon, and the breadth of scales is just like that of the man. This was the first time that Long Chen saw the real ancestral scale in the dragon tomb. He couldn't help but be awed. The dragon power of the ancestral scale was extremely terrible. Even when he faced the inverse scale, he felt frightened. According to his estimation, even if he wants to surrender this inverse scale, the probability is very low, and even forced surrender will be life-threatening. It was obvious that the man was far inferior to him just now. Asking him to subdue such a terrible scale was almost against the sky. If he could not get his life into it, no wonder the man was so angry and unwilling. The feeling of powerlessness was incomprehensible to outsiders. Seeing the inverted scale, Longchen fell into a state of thinking. Bai Yingxue said, "What's Brother Long thinking?" "I was thinking that the man had little hope of accepting Zhu's scale. I don't understand why Zhu Long left the inverse scale just to pass on and set such difficulty. Didn't he deliberately make it difficult for future generations? Dragon Dustway, he really doesn't understand. You are not a dragon, so you don't understand. Every strong dragon is proud, and Zhu Long has opened up an era and a branch. Their pride and foresight are beyond our comparison. Zhu Long's inheritance is divided into two parts. One part is his own blood inheritance. This part of inheritance is passed on to his descendants without reservation. The other part is sealed in the inverse scale, which is used to resist the risk of blood disconnection. When a race starts trying hard to awaken ancestral scales, it shows that the race has reached the edge of danger. Most magical powers have been unable to awaken. They have to rely on ancestral scales to activate blood vessels for the race again, which has become the greatest hope for racial rejuvenation. According to the rules of the dragon family, Zhu Long's inverse scale must be inherited by a genius who is equal to Zhu Long in talent, qualification, perseverance, and understanding. Only such a genius can win the favor of Zhu Long and hand over all the power unreservedly. Only such a genius can bring rejuvenation to the race. Therefore, it's hard to get Zhu Long's approval. I can persuade him, but I don't know how to persuade myself. A touch of bitterness appeared on Bai Yingxue's beautiful cheeks. She can persuade others, but she can't persuade herself. Like that person, she shoulders a mission. She hopes that she can get the recognition of Zilin, get the blessing of Zilin, bring Zilin back to the family, and let her family reproduce the glory of the past. The greater the target, the greater the pressure. Now it is gradually close to the core area of the dragon tomb and closer to the 10,000 dragon nest of the white dragon family, but she is not excited. Instead, she is more and more nervous and feels out of breath. Her words can only be said to Long Chen secretly, but she doesn't dare to let the people hear them. Looking at the excited eyes of the people, Bai Yingxue is more and more nervous. Even she hopes that this road will never reach her destination, so she doesn't have to face the feeling of powerlessness and despair. "Don't be afraid, he'll persuade you," Long Chen said with a smile and habitually patted Bai Yingxue's fragrant shoulder. This is a habitual action of Long Chen. However, after patting Bai Yingxue's shoulder, Long Chen felt that he had talked a little deeper. It seems that he and Bai Yingxue are not familiar enough to pat others on the shoulder. Looking at the surprised expression of the strong people of the White Dragon family, Long Chen was a little embarrassed. Bai Yingxue also felt a little strange, because no one in her life had done such an intimate act to her. But he was patted on the shoulder by Long Chen and felt the inherent optimism of Long Chen. I don't know why, Bai Yingxue felt very kind, even the pressure in her heart was much less. Bai Yingxue didn't say anything, but smiled at Long Chen. This smile was very gentle and warm, which immediately reduced Long Chen's embarrassment. Boom! Entering a 10,000 dragon nest in front, I saw hundreds of thousands of strong dragon people sitting around the center of the hall, surrounded by a woman in black, looking around vigilantly. And the woman surrounded in the middle was sitting under a huge scale, on which God's light fell and wrapped the woman. Seeing this scene, Bai Yingxue couldn't help exclaiming, "Have a resonance with Zhu Lin? Powerful!" Bai Yingxue's eyes are full of envy. Just now, in several Wanlong nests along the way, countless Tianjiao were so anxious to grasp their heads at Zhu Lin that they didn't even have the qualification to get close to Zhu Lin. Here, someone can resonate with Zhu Lin, which should not only be lucky, but also show that this person himself is also very strong. At this time, in addition to the White Dragon family, many other strong people of the Dragon family stopped to watch. Some people were envious, some were jealous, and some even had a fierce look in their eyes. The owners of the 10,000 dragon nest looked very uneasy. They looked around vigilantly to prevent damage. However, the people around were basically passing by. After watching it for a while, they left one after another, as did the White Dragon family. I wonder if the woman in black gave Bai Yingxue confidence just now. Bai Yingxue began to speed up. Along the way, I walked through hundreds of 10,000 dragon nests. Each 10,000 dragon nest has its own owner stationed. In addition to the woman in black, I also met a person who can resonate with Zulong, which shows that it is very difficult to resonate with Zulong. The more forward, the more terrible the breath of the 10,000 dragon nest is. Even some ancestral scales have strong breath. Foreigners will feel soul tingling at a glance. Suddenly, the white light appeared in front, and the sacred and magnificent breath was reflected on people like the warm sun. The strong people of the White Dragon family cheered. The 10,000 dragon nest of the White Dragon family has arrived. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4579. When Long Chen came to the White Dragon family's 10,000 dragon nest, he was shocked to find that tens of thousands of miles of space had been filled with people. In the core hall of the 10,000 dragon nest, there is a huge scale of tens of thousands of feet suspended. The glittering and white magic light on the scale lights up every corner of the 10,000 dragon nest. When the holy light shone on Long Chen immediately felt warm all over. The suppressed power of dragon blood seemed to be summoned and began to wake up slowly and run gradually. What happened? Dragon Dust asked in surprise. Isn't this the 10,000 dragon nest of the White Dragon family? Why are there so many other dragon strongmen here? Now tens of thousands of miles of the main hall is densely filled with people, squeezing the whole hall. Long Chen and others can't pass. Don't be nervous. They are here to accept the baptism of Zulin Holy Light. Although they are not the White Dragon family, the holy light of the White Dragon family is of great benefit to any strong dragon family. Many of them were injured while communicating with their ancestors. The holy light here can help them recover quickly. Bai Yingxue Road. Bai Yingxue and other strong members of the White Dragon family have long been used to it. The 10,000 dragon nest of the White Dragon family has always been a holy land for healing in the dragon tomb. Excuse me. When the strong of the White Dragon family came, many people were bathed in the holy light. Some people politely stepped aside, but many people stood there and didn't move at all, as if they couldn't see them. This makes the strong people of the White Dragon family a little unhappy. Anyway, this is also the territory of the White Dragon family. Who is the lord and who is the guest? Don't you have any points in mind? Let what? You white dragons have no chance to resonate with Zhu Lin for so many years. Don't toss. You have no hope at all. You might as well leave a good position for everyone to heal and baptize. A strong man of the dragon clan is in a strange way. You. The strong man of the White Dragon family was so angry that we waited for countless years to enter the dragon tomb in order to collect the scales. The man said frankly that the White Dragon family would fail, which is a bloody curse. Even the strong man of the White Dragon family can't stand it no matter how good his temper is. Get out of the way. Long Chen was angry when he heard it. He was too lazy to talk nonsense. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the man's arm. Dare you do it? The man gave a cold hum when he saw Long Chen's hands and smashed his fist at Long Chen's face. Although he saw that Long Chen was dressed differently and should not be a member of the White Dragon family, he saw that Long Chen's breath was weak and didn't pay attention to Long Chen at all. The man's fist was 3 inches away from Long Chen's face door. Long Chen's big hand changed direction, came first and grabbed his wrist. You! When Long Chen grabbed the man's wrist, the man suddenly changed his face. Long Chen's 5 fingers were like a steel hook and almost crushed his wrist. He was just about to struggle. Suddenly the whole man rose up in the air. In the exclamation of countless people, he was picked up by the dragon dust wheel and fell to the ground. Boom! With a loud explosion, the man was firmly fell to the ground. How powerful the dragon dust was! It directly flattened the man, and his blood gushed wildly. The man was knocked unconscious in an instant. On the one hand, it was because the power of dragon dust was great, and on the other hand, it was also because this was the 10,000 dragon nest. The hardness of the ground was comparable to that of sacred vessels. When the dragon dust raised his big hand, the man flew away like a kite. With a loud chirp, he fell on the wall, just like a human picture pasted on the wall. The move of Long Chen frightened countless people, because the person who made the move just now had good strength, but in the hands of Long Chen, he couldn't even catch a move. Hula. At this time, there was no need for the strong of the White Dragon family to speak. The people in front of them were suddenly divided into two sides, and no one dared to be indifferent anymore. The strong people of the White Dragon family enjoy it and relieve their anger. The White Dragon family has always been kind to others. What do you get? The 10,000 dragon nest of other races? Who dares to do this? They have long wanted to teach these ungrateful guys a lesson, but due to the ancestral teachings of the White Dragon family, they can't make trouble. Who are you? Just as Long Chen was leading the crowd forward, suddenly someone stood out in front of him. It is a very powerful dragon strongman with a sea of breath. At least it should be a 6-star destiny. The man just stood up. Long Chen replied that he was slapped in the face. At such a close distance, the man couldn't hide. He was slapped in the face without even making any response. The man was pulled out and rolled out all the way, which scared countless strong people to avoid one after another, causing chaos. Am I your father? Why should I answer your question? This is the territory of the White Dragon family. You can come and I can come. If anyone refuses, just stand up and I'll teach you how to be a dragon. Dragon Dust Disdain's Tunnel. When Long Chen came here, he felt the call of the power of the ancestral scales of the White Dragon family. Seeing the ink of the White Dragon family, he directly opened the way with violence in order to save time. Dai, the strong man who was sucked away by the dragon dust, obviously had a very noble identity. Tens of thousands of strong dragon people around him stood up at the same time. If you want to die, I don't mind killing in front of the White Dragon family. Long Chen Ling hum. Ignoring the glare of the strong, he went straight to the ancestral scales of the White Dragon family. Stop it, the strong men who were slapped roared. The strong men who were going to kill dragon dust together were stunned. Their little lord asked them to stop. What they don't know is that the slap of dragon dust exposed his strength. At the moment when the man was drawn, his soul was trembling and his heart was afraid. He had good strength, experienced a real bloody war and had a certain perception of danger. This perception told him that the man in black looked very ordinary, so he instinctively yelled at his men. Thanks to his roar, otherwise his men and himself will die here today, because Long Chen has lost his patience. If they dare to do it, he will dare to kill. Seeing that the strong man was slapped in the face by dragon dust, they didn't dare to say anything. The other strong men were awe-inspiring and gave up a wide passage one after another. Bai Yingxue followed Long Chen closely. She couldn't help feeling that if the white dragons were not so kind, wouldn't so many people embarrass them? Long Chen and his party came directly to the place thousands of miles away from the White Dragon Scale, which is the limit that the strong of the major dragon families can approach. Here, they will be baptized by the divine brilliance, but if they take another step forward, it will no longer be a baptism, but a test. This is a warning line. If you exaggerate it, the peaceful divine light will become a violent divine power. They are not the strong ones of the White Dragon family. If they cross the warning line, they will bear the dragon power several times stronger than the White Dragon family, which is very difficult for them to bear. And even if they bear it, it doesn't make any sense. They can't go to the bottom of the dragon scale. Even if they go to the bottom, it's useless, because so far, even the strong of the White Dragon family can't resonate with the ancestral scale. Buzz, when the dragon dust stepped over the warning line, the holy white light suddenly trembled, followed by the shaking of the white ancestral scale suspended in the void, and then in the frightened eyes of the strong men of the White Dragon family, runes appeared on the White Dragon scales. Zulin was awakened? Bai Yingxu's beautiful eyes were full of surprises. The jade hand covered the cherry lips, and his face was full of disbelief. Even his delicate body couldn't help shaking. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel.
Chapter 4580 The awakening of Zulin is the first step to success. Only when Zulin is awakened can we have a chance to resonate with Zulin. However, most people want to wake up Zulin, which takes 9 cattle and 2 tigers. There are even many forces that can't even wake up Zulin, let alone resonate. In order to awaken the strong of the White Dragon family such as Zulin and Baingshui, more than a dozen grand worship ceremonies have been prepared to awaken Zulin. But they never thought that they had just approached Zulin, and Zulin woke up automatically. They didn't need to call at all. At that moment, Baingshui couldn't help looking at Long Chen. She vaguely felt that the awakening of Zulin was probably related to Long Chen. When she first saw Dragon Dust, she had a strange feeling. She felt that if she could go with Dragon Dust, good luck would come. Unexpectedly, it would come true so soon. Many people have spent a lot of energy waking up Zulin. When they want to resonate with Zulin, they have no strength to support, resulting in failure. You know, whether it is to awaken Zulin or resonate with Zulin, it needs to burn essence and blood. Only in this state will Zulin quickly judge the strength of the resonator, so as to decide whether to continue the test. If there is a phenomenon of subsequent weakness when resonating, and you want to subdue Zulin, you don't have to think at all. Now Zulin is awakened automatically, which saves Baingshui a lot of energy, which gives her a little more confidence in subduing Zulin. Buzzing. As the crowd gradually approached the ancestral scales, the sacred radiance began to become stronger and stronger, just like a turbulent wave, and began to wash towards the people. The scouring force was not violent, but it was extremely powerful. Soon, the strong of the White Dragon family could not bear it. Their body trembled and their chest was stuffy, as if they were pressed with boulders. Your Highness, I can only accompany you here. The strong people of the White Dragon family are ashamed. This is the ancestral scale field. Limited by their blood qualifications, they can only go here. If they rush forward, not only their body can't support it, but also their soul will be hurt by the power of ancestral scale. We are already very good, far beyond the records over the years. Just stay here and accept the baptism of the light. Baingshui nodded. She was really pleased because they had walked hundreds of miles longer than the patriarchs expected, which was enough to change their lives. This is a good start for the White Dragon family. More importantly, thousands of strong people of the White Dragon family can support it, which means they can go further. The closer you get to the ancestral scale, you will get more blessings and stronger baptism. All the strong people of the White Dragon family bite their teeth and try to stick to it. Dragon Dust and Baingshui continue to move forward. For Baingshui, at this time, she is bathed in divine light, like a fish in water. That little resistance is nothing to her. Baingshui looks at Longchen and is surprised to find that Longchen's steps are lighter and smoother than her. It seems that she doesn't feel resistance at all. When it is less than 100 miles away from Zulin, there are only Baingshui and Longchen left here. Other strong people fall to the ground and are left behind by them. They have reached the limit. When she came here, Baingshui began to feel a little hard. The huge impact forced her to start running the power of dragon blood to fight, otherwise she would be washed away. However, Longchen's pace was as light as ever, and he didn't feel any resistance. Baingshui couldn't help asking, "Brother Long, don't talk," and just then, an old and powerful voice sounded in her mind. At that moment, Baingshui's delicate body could not help shaking. Distracted, she was almost washed away. What? Longchen was called by Baingshui. Seeing that Baingshui's face was different, he couldn't help asking. "No. Nothing?" Baingshui hurried. Although she was trying to hide her shock, she couldn't hide the unbelievable look in her eyes, especially her body couldn't help shaking, and she didn't know whether she was excited or nervous. Longchen is also a smart man. He knows that Baingshui has something to hide from him, but he doesn't ask, but continues to move forward with Baingshui. Until they came to the bottom of the White Dragon scale. At that moment, the hearts of all the strong people of the White Dragon family were mentioned to their throat, because the next is the ceremony to resonate with the ancestral scale. Ancestral scale resonance requires Baingshui to burn blood essence to bless ancestral scale,
so as to build a bridge that can communicate time and space and talk with ancestral scale will. However, what surprised them was that Longchen, an outsider, could also go under the ancestral scale. However, the strong people of the White Dragon family have no hostility to the dragon dust. They are very confident in their perception. They don't believe that the dragon dust will do anything harmful to the White Dragon family. On the contrary, they believe that the dragon dust will help them at the critical moment. Buzz, suddenly, a strange scene appeared again. Two divine lights hung down from the ancestral scale at the same time, covering the dragon dust and white Ingshua. At that moment, in the 10,000 dragon nest, both the strong of the White Dragon family and the strong of other dragon families were surprised. What happened? The other way around? People can't believe it. They are all strong people of the dragon family. They all know that after waking up the ancestral scales, they should burn blood essence, condense into a blood-soul column with their own blood essence, impact the ancestral scales and form a communication bridge. But now, the ancestral scale took the initiative to descend the divine light to envelop them. This scene overturned the cognition of all the strong people of the dragon family. He was at a loss and didn't know what happened. In the light column, the figures of Long Chen and Bai Yingxue gradually blurred. Soon, they disappeared from everyone's eyes. The resonance is over. Is this the beginning of the ancestral scale test? Some people exclaimed that they could hardly believe their eyes. Not only are they, but even the strong men of the White Dragon family can't believe it. They don't know how many possible difficulties they think about along the way, but they never thought it would be so easy. God bless my White Dragon family. My White Dragon family is finally going to revive. A strong man of the White Dragon family couldn't help shouting. His voice trembled and excited. Other dragon strongmen also shouted, God bless the White Dragon family. Some even began to kneel on the ground and worship the ancestral scales with tears in their eyes. Inside the light column, Long Chen can't see the outside situation, even the white ink snow around him. The scene in front of him is constantly changing, as if he has entered a space-time tunnel, and the space is constantly distorted. When the scene in front of him is no longer changing, he enters a static world. He came to a boundless lake. The lake was as smooth as a mirror and boundless. A huge figure was reflected on the lake. When the dragon dust looked up at the figure, he couldn't help but be startled. It was a white giant dragon. The giant dragon was boundless and covered the whole sky. He couldn't see the whole picture. The white dragon is covered with huge white scales. The scales are huge, but there are beautiful lines on them. It is like a natural jade, depicting mountains, rivers, flowers, birds, sun, moon and stars. Boom! The dragon's body began to turn, and then a huge faucet appeared. It looked at the dragon dust, and the dragon dust looked at it. Suddenly the white dragon spoke. Welcome, the great descendant of the Dragon Emperor. Dragon Emperor? Descendants? When hearing this name, Long Chen was stunned for a moment. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4581. Elder, do you recognize the wrong person? Dragon Dust looked at the white dragon and couldn't help opening his mouth. You can't be wrong. Although you have refined dragon blood into muscles and veins, you can easily hide it from others, but you can't hide the perception of our White Dragon family. In your muscles and veins, I saw the most primitive magic runes of the dragon family. Although they are only the prototype, the noble imperial chi goes deep into them. Therefore, I'm sure you must be the descendant of the Dragon Emperor. The White Dragon rode. Seeing that the White Dragon was so sure, Long Chen suddenly jumped in his heart. Did the mysterious strong man of the dragon family really come from the Emperor family of the dragon family? However, the strong man of the dragon family is too mysterious. He has only taught him the body-refining skill of the dragon god, the dragon howling 9 days, the dragon wagging its tail and the cloud dragon offering its claws. In the past, Long Chen thought these moves were unparalleled, but with his strength gradually improving, the power of these moves has begun to gradually fall behind his rhythm. In particular, after a fierce battle with the strong man of the golden-haired monkey family, Long Chen found that his dragon blood power was not strong enough. Later, he had to use the power of stars to fight. This is a very frustrating feeling for Long Chen. According to the guy, Long Chen has lost to it, and the power of dragon blood has been lost to a monkey, which makes Long Chen unacceptable, but he has to accept it. Now hearing the words of the white dragon, Long Chen's heart suddenly lit up hope. The white dragon seemed to see through Long Chen's mind and said, "You don't have to doubt that your inheritance comes from the godless family of the real dragon family, and the supreme dragon emperor of the emperor family teaches you magic powers. The strength of dragon's magic power lies not in skills and methods, but in the strength of dragon blood. Although your dragon blood is pure, it is too thin, and it is still king-level refined blood. You don't have to worry about the fact that you will suffer a great loss if you fight against the pure blood creatures in the realm of King of Fairyland with the dragon blood of King of Fairyland." The white dragon rode. Its voice is thick and long, with respect in its tone, which makes people relaxed and happy. Hearing it, Long Chen suddenly realized that, yes, the realm is different, and the quantity is also different. I will suffer a loss naturally. A few drops of dragon blood from the fairyland against the bloody monsters in the world of kings is not Lao Tzu's strength, but the quality and quantity are not at the same level. Thinking of this, Long Chen was full of confidence and looked up at the white dragon and hugged the fist. "Thank you for your guidance. I'd like to ask you. Your Highness Ingxue said that there are imperial ancestral scales in the core of the dragon tomb. I don't know, but it's true?" "It's true, but that's not your goal." The white dragon road has a special meaning in its voice. "Do you mean?" Long Chen hurriedly asked. The white dragon did not answer directly. He said, "It is of special significance that the endless dragon nest is buried here. There is a great secret hidden here. Many people think that the ultimate treasure here is the Emperor's dragon scale, but in fact it is not. Everyone is attracted by the Emperor's ancestral scale, but I, the white dragon family, can feel the power behind the Emperor's ancestral scale. Dear descendants of the Dragon Emperor, that is your goal. Please allow me to activate the original blood of the dragon family for you. Only in this way can you communicate with the ancestors of the Emperor family." "Thank you, Master." Although Long Chen doesn't know what it means to activate the original blood, Long Chen believes that the white dragon will not harm him. The white dragon is not sure how many times stronger than him. It only needs one idea, which is enough to destroy him. People don't need to play moves with him. Offended, the white dragon accused the sound of sin. One of its giant claws stretched out slowly and went straight to the body of dragon dust. The dragon claws were huge, and the 5 toes spread out to cover the sky. The dragon dust looked so small in front of the dragon claws. Then the tip of one of the dragon claws was aimed at the dragon dust. Although it was only the tip of one claw, it was bigger than the peak. The huge claw tip pointed to the center of Long Chen's eyebrow accurately. Once Long Chen's eyebrow hurt slightly, he was pierced by the dragon claw. Then a divine force poured into Long Chen's body. Long Chen's muscles and veins tightened in an instant, and then the force of dragon blood burst out. A loud dragon chant sounded. The dragon dust was covered with golden scales. The dragon blood battle body was automatically excited, and the violent dragon power rose to the sky. Then Long Chen found that countless runes appeared on his dragon tendon, which were dragon blood runes, just like little dragons twisting. When the holy power of the white dragon poured into the dragon dust, the dragon rune glowed, and then the dragon dust saw an incredible scene. The rune on the dragon tendon appears something like a chain, which binds each dragon rune tightly. Isn't it? Dragon dust was surprised. He didn't expect that his dragon blood had something similar to a seal. Was it left by the mysterious dragon strongman? Shouldn't it? This is not a seal, this is the imprisonment of heaven and earth. This is a spell imposed by heaven and earth on our dragon family to limit the strength of our dragon family. You have to be patient. Next, it'll help you break the imprisonment. Only in this way can your dragon blood really run freely and no longer be limited by the laws of heaven and earth. Click. Suddenly, A chain burst open on the dragon talisman in Long Chen's body. At that moment, severe pain swept through Long Chen's whole body, and Long Chen's muscles and veins couldn't help twitching. Long Chen bit his teeth and said nothing. He has experienced such pain many times, but he can bear it. Click, click. With the holy white light pouring into the dragon tendon of dragon dust, the chain of Tao and Tao broke, and the dragon amulet that broke away from the chain was like a runaway wild horse galloping in the body of dragon dust. Soon, hundreds of millions of runes broke free and dragon blood flowed in Long Chen. At that moment, Long Chen couldn't help roaring up to the sky, like a jiaolong trapped in shallow water, finally got free and rushed into the sea. Although he broke free from the shackles and didn't let the dragon blood power of dragon dust soar directly, the running speed of dragon blood was 100 times faster than before. Dragon blood can finally move at will like his own blood. His dragon blood magic power no longer needs to store power for so long as before, and can be sent out in an instant. What a terrible trick that can be sent instantly! Dragon dust felt the flowing dragon blood in his body and was excited. "Thank you, Master." Dragon dust saluted the white giant dragon with a grateful face. "This human favor is not small." "You're welcome." The white dragon family is the most loyal servant of the emperor family. This is what we should do. Your blood has broken free from shackles and been completely activated. Each rune has changed from a stream to a sea, which can absorb the power of dragon blood infinitely. In this way, you can go to the core to communicate with the ancestors of the emperor family. The great descendants of the dragon emperor, I can only help you. The rest is up to you. Good luck. The white dragon respectfully tunnel. Long Chen is deeply impressed by your help. I will always remember this feeling in my heart. Dragon dust saluted the white dragon again to show his gratitude. Buzz, just then, the white light trembled, and the scene disappeared, replaced by the huge white dragon scales. Long Chen looks at Buying Xue and finds that her eyes are closed and her face is serious. It seems that she is undergoing some kind of test. Long Chen didn't dare to disturb her and came out of the white light. When he was going to leave through the crowd, he suddenly found a group of people, rushed over immediately, slapped one person to the ground and said fiercely, "Say, where is the 10,000 dragon nest of the Ming dragon family?" www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4582 Dragon dust went out of the white dragon family's 10,000 dragon nest. Instead of going to the emperor's 10,000 dragon nest, he went out and turned left to another 10,000 dragon nest. By questioning the strong man of the dark dragon family, Long Chen learned that the 10,000 dragon nest of the dark dragon family is 17 10,000 dragon nests away from the white dragon family. At the same time, Long Chen also roughly understood the terrain of the dragon tomb. It turned out that the dragon tomb was like a super 10,000 dragon nest, composed of tens of thousands of dragon nests. The dragon tomb, that is, the place where dragons are buried, and the 10,000 dragon nests in the peripheral area have exhausted their original strength and become dead nests. The 10,000 dragon nests in the core area are all alive. In the most core area, there are a total of 99 10,000 dragon nests. These 99 10,000 dragon nests are the mainstay of the dragon family, with strong forces. The 99 10,000 dragon nests include the white dragon family and the dark dragon family. The 99 10,000 dragon nests surround a huge 10,000 dragon nest, which is the emperor's 10,000 dragon nest. However, few people have entered the emperor's 10,000 dragon nest for countless years. It is said that the strong who can't subdue the ancestral scales can't enter the emperor's 10,000 dragon nest at all. If they break in forcibly, they will be killed by the law of the 10,000 dragon nest. Therefore, there is no one in the emperor's 10,000 dragon nest. Everyone is communicating with their ancestral scales. No one goes there at all, so Long Chen is not in a hurry. Anyway, any 10,000 dragon nest leads to the emperor's 10,000 shrouds. Long Chen should take a detour. With the dragon dust flying all the way, I passed by the 10,000 dragon nests and found that some of the ancestral scales here have been awakened and some are still sleeping. Dragon dust passed by the 10,000 dragon nests, which immediately aroused the vigilance and rejection of the strong here. Even some strong people of the dragon family did not allow dragon dust to pass through. As a result, they were slapped by dragon dust. Because the top strong men of all ethnic groups are trying to wake up Zulin and have no time to entangle with Longchen. Some weak ones can only let Longchen pass on the premise that they can't beat Longchen and don't want to suffer losses. Soon, the black air was swirling in front of him, and the breath of the underworld came. The dragon dust knew that the 10,000 dragon nest in front of him was the 10,000 dragon nest of the underworld dragon family. Without any hesitation, the dragon dust swaggered in. Unlike other 10,000 dragon nests, it was dark and could not reach far. It was hazy everywhere. When the dragon dust came to the core area of the 10,000 dragon nest, he was surprised to find that the whole hall was crowded with countless strong people of the dark dragon family. There are at least millions of strong people of the dark dragon family here. These strong people of the dark dragon family sit on the ground and flow their blood one by one. You can see the Taoist spirit rising from these people and flowing straight to the central area. When the dragon dust came, these people turned a deaf ear to it, turned a blind eye, and focused on condensing the power of qi and blood. When Longchen came to these people, he found that a huge black dragon scale was suspended in the void in the core area of the hall. The black dragon scale has endless power and fierce qi. When you come here, it seems that you can hear the roar of the giant dragon, which comes through the distant space and time, and makes your soul tremble. The black dragon scale absorbed the blood gas of all the strong men of the dark dragon family. Countless runes lit up on it, and a little fog appeared on the dragon scale. The fog gathered together to form a black viscous liquid, which slowly dripped down the dragon scale, and below the dragon scale, a black-haired man was sitting cross-legged. The black liquid dripped on him, and ripples stirred. Runes began to light up on him, and a dragon head appeared in the center of his eyebrows. Behind his head, 9 stars were bright and dark. Dark dragon sky light. When he saw the man, Longchen was surprised. The man was no one else. It was the dark dragon Tianzhao who almost died in Longchen's hands. At this time, the 9 stars in the back of his head flickered. His breath was completely different from that of him at that time, as if he had changed a person. Is this guy trying to awaken the 9-star destiny? Seeing the stars behind the dark dragon Tianzhao's head, Longchen himself was startled. Now the dark dragon Tianzhao has qi and blood soaring into the sky, and is accompanied by the supreme divine power, which is a kind of pressure above all sentient beings. This is the breath of the Emperor. Dragon Dust suddenly understood that this guy sacrificed himself to the Emperor of the Underworld. This guy was blessed with the power of the Emperor of the Underworld. Seeing the drops of divine liquid on the dragon scale slowly dripping on his body and being absorbed by him, Longchen knew that this guy must have come to this step so quickly because of the power of the Ming Emperor. Obviously, this guy has begun to subdue the ancestor scale, and even is about to succeed. No, he must be stopped. Dragon Dust's heart jumped wildly. At this time, the dark dragon sky light has been blessed by the power of the Dark Emperor. If Zhu Lin is subdued again, who else can control him that day? Dragon Dust didn't hide his breath, so he went straight to Zhu Lin. All the strong people present were closing their eyes, and no one noticed him. When the Dragon Dust approached the ancestral scale, the divine power on the ancestral scale trembled. At that moment, the Dragon Dust was cold in his heart. The ancestral scale had sensed his intention to kill, so it was troublesome. If the Dragon Dust rushes hard, it will be alerted by Zhu Lin. Obviously, now the Zhu Lin is merging with the dark dragon Tianzhao. They are a group, so they can't sneak attack him. Forget it. Longchen gritted his teeth and gave up the idea of killing the dark dragon Tianzhao, so he went over. When Longchen started again, the Zhu scale did not change. Longchen knows that the ancestral scales of the white dragon family help Longchen activate his original blood, and the ancestral scales of the dark dragon family don't seem to exclude him. But he had a killing heart for the Ming dragon Tianzhao before. The ancestral scales of the Ming dragon family naturally won't let the Dragon Dust kill the Ming dragon Tianzhao, So, he gave birth to a feeling. If the dragon dust continues to have a killing heart, it is likely to attack the dragon dust or awaken the Ming dragon Tianzhao. After the dragon dust put away the killing heart, he can boldly go to the Ming Long Tianzhao. When the dragon dust gradually approaches the Ming Long Tianzhao, there are fewer and fewer strong people around, but the strength of these people is also stronger and stronger. What shocked Longchen was that there were dozens of 7-star destiny people around the dark dragon Tianzhao. So many strong people escorted him. No wonder he dared to absorb the power of Zhu Lin so blatantly and didn't pay any attention to others. When the dragon dust passed by a strong man, the strong man suddenly opened his eyes. It was obvious that the man was very alert. He was still aware of the dragon dust even when he was in a steady state. Seeing the dragon dust, the strong man was surprised and angry. He stretched out his hand and held down the weapon. The cold killing intention shrouded the dragon dust. Facing the man's killing intention, Longchen was not nervous at all. He shook his hand at the man, indicating that he had no malice. At the same time, he made a silent gesture and pointed to the dark dragon Tianzhao, meaning not to disturb him. The strong man of the nether dragon family showed a look of doubt, but his eyes were full of vigilance. But he didn't dare to do it rashly, because the nether dragon sky was at a critical moment, and any disturbance might interrupt his integration. For a time, the dragon dust did not move, nor did the strong man of the nether dragon family. The dragon dust gestured to the strong man of the nether dragon family, meaning that I came to help your master without any malice. Then he walked to the dark dragon Tianzhao. The awakened strong man of the dark dragon family was surprised and angry, but he didn't dare to make a move, nor dare he speak rashly. He had to gesture to let the dragon dust come back quickly, otherwise he would kill him. Longchen ignored him at all, so he went to Minglong Tianzhao, held one hand high, and then in the frightened eyes of the strong man of the Minglong family, his big hand hit Minglong Tianzhao's face. "Wake up, don't sleep." Pa! A loud bang resounded through the whole dragon nest. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4583. When the dragon dust started, the strong man of the dark dragon family roared and jumped at the dragon dust like a lightning bolt. It's not that the strong man of the Ming dragon family reacts slowly, but that he has always been lucky and thinks that no one dares to move the Ming dragon Tianzhao here. Once he dares to fight, the strong men of the dark dragon family will break them into pieces. No one will be so stupid. In addition, the dragon dust didn't have the slightest intention of killing, and kept gesturing, which seemed to have no malice to the dark dragon family. In order not to disturb the sky light of the dark dragon, the strong man of the dark dragon family can only warn, but he didn't expect that the dragon dust really dared to do it. When the strong man of the nether dragon family jumped on the dragon dust had slapped the nether dragon Tianzhao's face. A startling explosion, and the whole dragon nest trembled. But what surprised Longchen was that at the moment when Longchen's big hand contacted the face of Minglong Tianzhao, the black dragon scale suddenly lit up and formed a divine light on Minglong Tianzhao. The slap of dragon dust was drawn on the divine light and was bounced away. However, the huge impact still shook the dark dragon sky light out of the divine light. Poof! The dark dragon Tianzhao took a mouthful of blood and burst out. The slap of dragon dust did not cause him substantive damage, but at this time, he was integrating with the power of Zhu scale. At this time, he was interrupted. His whole Bodhi's chi and blood rushed like a runaway wild horse in his body and almost burst his body. Dragon dust. When the dark dragon Tianzhao stabilized his figure, he saw the dragon dust still waving. At that moment, his eyes were red for a moment. The so-called enemy road was narrow, and his murderous spirit was promoted to the extreme in an instant. Longchen shook his body, avoided the blow of the strong man of the dark dragon family, and spread his hand to the dark dragon Tianzhao's stall. He looked innocent and said, "Why are you gnashing your teeth? I'm afraid you'll fall asleep and affect your ability to absorb ancestral scales." Boom! At this time, countless strong people of the dark dragon family were awakened and withdrew from the calm state. Seeing that the dragon dust interrupted the integration of the dark dragon and the sky, they couldn't help being angry and took out weapons one after another to break the dragon dust into thousands of pieces. Seal the exit. I'm going to strip him of his muscles and skin today and frustrate his bones and ashes. The dark dragon Tianzhao shouted angrily. The strong people of the dark dragon family retreated to the 4 entrances and exits like a tide, leaving the whole hall to the 2. Dragon dust. The dark dragon Tianzhao gnashed his teeth and his eyes were red. Looking at the dragon dust, he seemed to bite the dragon dust to death. I will repay you the humiliation you gave me in the last World War. As soon as the dark dragon Tianzhao said this, the strong people of the dark dragon family were shocked. You know, the dark dragon Tianzhao is in their hearts, but there is a god-like existence. Looking at the whole dark dragon family, no one can compare with it. Listening to the tone of the dark dragon Tianzhao, it seems that they have been defeated by the dragon dust. They can hardly believe their ears. In fact, the branch of the dark dragon family that was killed by the leader of Longchen was in this team, but they didn't dare to fully convey Longchen's words. Only a man named Longchen killed their leader, and he didn't say it publicly at all, but secretly reported it to Minglong Tianzhao. In addition, they didn't dare to convey the sentence of dragon dust to wash their necks, for fear that the dark dragon Tianzhao would kill them all in a rage. Therefore, only a few people in the top level know the name of Longchen, but no one knows the gratitude and resentment between Longchen and Minglong Tianzhao. Forget it. What I give you is what I give you. How can I ask back? That's not my style of dragon dust. Longchen smiled, very generous and authentic. Minglong Tianzhao's face was gloomy and ignored the ridicule of Longchen. He said coldly, "Do you know how much pain I experienced after sacrificing to the god of the underworld before I passed the test of the god of the underworld and survived? Countless times I wanted to give up on the verge of collapse, but I thought of you and held on. Forget it. If it's so disgusting, don't say it. I'm not interested in men." Dragon dust shivered and felt goosebumps. I'm not willing to die like that. I'm the son of the great ghost god and the descendant of the great ghost dragon. How can I be willing to lose to you, a half man and half dragon? I will kill you myself, I will avenge you, I will let you recover the painful price, and I will let the whole world see who is the real king. The dark dragon roared in the sky, and his voice became louder and louder. Later, it was like rolling thunder surging back and forth in the 10,000 dragon nest, making people's eardrums roar. Blessed by the god of the underworld, I met you before you were killed by others. Today is the time for me to take revenge. The dark dragon Tianzhao opened his big hand and a black dragon gun appeared in his hand. As soon as the black dragon gun came out, a roar of a giant dragon spread to every corner of the world. At that moment, the dragon dust seemed to be stared at by a dark dragon from ancient times. Show me your tripod. Let me see how strong the so-called heaven and earth tripod is. The dark dragon drank coldly. Looking at the dragon gun, Longchen was shocked. This guy had suffered the loss of the heaven and earth tripod in his hand last time. This time, he even asked Longchen to use the heaven and earth tripod, and he looked like he had no fear, which made Longchen cautious all of a sudden. The heaven and earth tripod is one of the top 10 chaotic artifacts. There are no weapons in the world that can resist them. It's really unusual for this guy to directly challenge the heaven and earth tripod. To deal with you? I can't use the heaven and earth tripod. Dragon dust stretched out his big hand and held the bloody long knife in his hand. The blade pointed to the dark dragon sky. The violent cyclone rose with dragon dust as the center. Stupid self-confidence will only accelerate your failure. The dark dragon Tianzhao broke his drink and stepped out. The black dragon gun roared in his hand and stabbed at the dragon dust. At the moment he stabbed, a dragon scale appeared on the long gun, followed by the power of mountains and seas, just like the stars in the sky. Be careful, that's the tooth of Zulong. It has the power to destroy the sky and the earth. At this time, the warning of heaven and earth tripod sounded in Longchen's mind. 7-star battle, open. The dragon gun gave dragon dust a strong smell of death. Dragon Dust dared not neglect it. He directly summoned the 7-star battle body. On the bloody long knife in his hand, the stars emerged and cut fiercely. Boom! There was a startling explosion, the air waves were surging, and the sound of dragons singing was loud. The dragon Dust felt a great force coming. His arms were shocked, and he couldn't help retreating 7 steps. Boom! With each step back, Dragon Dust left a deep footprint on the earth, and each footprint was covered with cobweb cracks. How could he have such terrible power? At that moment, Longchen was surprised and angry. Stupid guy, do you still think him the former Ming Long Tianzhao? Go to hell. The ghost dragon Tianzhao drank coldly. Suddenly, the vision behind him opened and a dark dragon emerged. The dragon gun in the hand of the ghost dragon Tianzhao stirred up. The vision behind him was swallowed by the dragon gun in his hand and stabbed at the dragon Dust again. This blow was 10 times stronger than the previous blow. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4584, Buzzing. Dragon Chen was shocked, and the bloody long knife in his hand cut out continuously. When the 5th knife, the bloody long knife in his hand superimposed all the previous forces, and the 5 knives were one. The 5th opening ceremony, boom, Dragon Dust has just integrated the 5 styles. The dragon spear of Minglong Tianzhao has been killed. The 2 magic soldiers hit each other hard. The divine light exploded and roared. Boom! The whole dragon's nest is shaking, and the violent force is raging. Like the dragon's nest made of steel, it even begins to crack. The dragon Dust and the sky light of the dark dragon regressed at the same time. The dragon Dust was shocked, and his blood almost gushed out. At that moment, his eyes were full of disbelief. See? Now I'm not who I was. This dragon gun is the tooth of Zulong. I am the son of destiny. When I absorb the power of ancestral scales, my strength will be improved thousands of times. But it's a pity that you can't see that day. The dark dragon roared in the sky, and the dragon gun roared in his hand. Each black scale on the dragon gun was like a volcano, bursting out the power to destroy the sky and the earth. Boom, boom. Facing the overwhelming sky light of the dark dragon, the dragon Dust screamed and took the initiative to attack. There were stars on the bloody long knife. The 2 fought hard for 3 moves. The 3 impacts were more and more violent. Both of them went all out without any reservation and wanted to defeat each other in the most direct and rough way. Each impact makes the 10,000 dragon nest shake constantly. There are more and more cracks on the 10,000 dragon nest. The rock wall composed of dragon corpses is falling constantly. Although the strong men of the dark dragon family have hid in the channel, the violent power still makes their hearts jump out. Some weak people began to bleed from their eyes, nose, and ears. Their eyes were full of horror. Even they had never seen such a terrible force. Boom! There was another startling explosion, and a rock wall hundreds of miles in size fell on the hall, straight to the dragon Dust and the dark dragon sky light. Long Chen and Ming Long Tianzhao quickly dodged, and the rock wall hit the ground hard, making a big pit on the ground. You know, the ground here is as hard as steel. The rock wall can smash a big pit on the ground. When the powder on the rock wall falls off, people are shocked to find that the rock wall is a complete faucet. Kill, Long Chen and Ming Long Tianzhao retreated because they avoided the faucet. When the faucet fell, they roared at the same time. They stayed where they were, stabbed with long guns and cut with blood knives. The 2 magic soldiers made a huge virtual shadow. Boom! When the blood knife and dragon spear were cut, the huge faucet burst into pieces, and a huge blood crystal shot out like a meteor and hit the rock wall, directly hitting a big hole in the rock wall. It is a rare dragon crystal, which is the place where the dragon's lifelong strength condenses. Its precious degree is second only to the reverse scale and contains the power of terror. When the dragon crystal flew out, the dragon Dust and the dark dragon Tianzhao stretched out their hands at the same time. 2 huge dragon claws poked out from behind them, smashed the rock wall and grabbed the dragon crystal. No matter for the dragon dust or the dark dragon Tianzhao, this dragon crystal is a great treasure, especially for the dark dragon Tianzhao. Buzz, two dragon hands grabbed the dragon crystal at the same time, and they roared at the same time. Boom! Under the urging of the two forces, the huge dragon crystal exploded, and the violent force blew up half of the dragon nest. Puff puff! In the 10,000 dragons' nest, countless strong men of the dark dragon family were squeezed by the terrible force and gushed blood one after another. Dead, seeing that the dragon dust destroyed his dragon crystal, Minglong Tianzhao became more angry. The dragon gun in his hand was like a dragon going out to sea, illusory and killing the dragon dust. Destroy my treasure, you damn it! Dragon dust shouted angrily. If you get the dragon crystal and throw it into chaotic space, you don't know how much energy will be released. The result is so wasted. After listening to dragon dust's words, Minglong Tianzhao almost vomited blood. Everything here is his. How did he become dragon dust? Boom boom. The dragon spears are flying, the blood knives are flying, the black gas is surging, and the stars are moving. This is the second bloody battle between the two. They don't need any temptation. They're all trying their best to attack. Boom, they fought hundreds of moves in an instant. Suddenly, Long Chen's body was shocked and was swept away by Minglong Tianzhao. At that moment, Long Chen's face changed. The bloody long knife in his hand burst a peanut-sized gap by the dragon gun. Long Chen was surprised, angry, and distressed. So far, the only magic weapon that can barely bear the power of the stars has broken a big gap, which means that the weapon has been completely abandoned. There is a gap, which means that it can't bear the power of dragon dust. How dare a soldier challenge the dragon spear made by Zulong's teeth? It's ridiculous. If I can't activate the dragon spear talisman because I haven't subdued Zhu Lin, can you stop me with your broken knife? The dark dragon Tianzhao saw a big gap on the Long Chen's bloody long knife and couldn't help laughing. Looking at the dragon dust's expression of surprise and anger, the face of Minglong Tianzhao showed unprecedented happiness. He said darkly, "Anger? Fear? No, this is just the beginning. Next, I will let you understand how far you are from me. I will give you back what you gave me 1,000 times. Ha ha ha." The dark dragon Tianzhao looked up and laughed. He had endless anger. He was defeated by the dragon dust last time and sacrificed himself to the Dark Emperor, although he survived. But the pain he experienced was unimaginable. It was the strong heart of revenge that made him stick to it. Now he was full of joy to see the expression of Long Chen. "Show me your heaven and earth tripod. I'll show you how I broke it myself." The dark dragon Tianzhao dragon spear pointed at the dragon dust, condescending, and shouted coldly. At this time, Long Chen moved his eyes from the bloody long knife. He looked coldly at the sky light of the dark dragon and disdained to say, "With your intelligence, don't play such a childish conspiracy with me. If the bronze tripod in my hand is a real heaven and earth tripod, it's not enough to see with the broken gun in your hand. You've always asked me to sacrifice the bronze tripod, but you've arranged a trap to seize my heaven and earth tripod." Dragon dust sneers. Minglong Tianzhao made Long Chen show the heaven and earth tripod twice with disdain, which immediately made Long Chen suspicious. This guy's goal was very obvious. Then go to hell. The smile on the dark dragon Tianzhao's face disappeared in an instant, but it was replaced by the ferocious color of his face. "The great emperor of the underworld, please listen to your son's call and give me the power of the emperor." The dark dragon Tianzhao suddenly closed his hands and kowtowed to the void. Suddenly, the whole 10,000 dragon nest roared and burst, and a strange force enveloped the 10,000 dragon nest. The breath of the dark dragon Tianzhao suddenly changed. At this time, he looked like a divine emperor coming and looked down at the ages. At that moment, Long Chen's pupil shrank into the tip of a needle. On the body of Minglong Tianzhao, he saw the shadow of another person. When he saw the shadow, the power of stars in Long Chen's body began to flow wildly without its control. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel.
Chapter 4585, Boom. The dark airflow of the dark dragon sky turned, and the power of the Emperor broke out, just like the Emperor came to the world, pressing the heaven and earth to explode. Humble mole ant, do you know how big the gap between you and me is this time? It's cold to drink. At this time his voice changed, and his breath became old and deep. As soon as he opened his mouth, the whole dragon nest was shaking, and endless echoes stirred up. Buzz, the ghost dragon Tianzhao pointed at the dragon gun in his hand, and the fierce murderous spirit instantly locked the dragon dust. His eyes were full of ferocious color. This is your last chance. If you don't use the heaven and earth tripod, you won't have any chance. The killing intention of Minglong Tianzhao locked Longchen. Longchen felt that his soul was trembling. Longchen fought all his life. Because of his strong soul power and willpower, few people could lock him, especially in the same level. At the moment when he was locked by the sky light of the Ming dragon, the dragon dust felt the will of the Ming emperor and captured something inexplicable from that will. Ha ha ha! Dragon dust suddenly burst into laughter. Are you still in the mood to laugh when death is coming? You really don't know how to live or die. The dark dragon Tianzhao sneered. Longchen said with a smile, If I die, how can you tell the emperor? What are you talking about? The dark dragon drank coldly. Longchen said calmly, If I guessed right, you sacrificed yourself to the Emperor Ming. It's reasonable that you have no chance to live at all. Your so-called test of the Ming Emperor is just an accessory. What really moves the Ming Emperor is not how good your talent is, nor how strong your will is, but because of the heaven and earth tripod. Isn't it? You made an oath in front of Emperor Ming. You will get the heaven and earth tripod to him, so Emperor Ming will support you. No wonder you are so anxious to let me use the heaven and earth tripod. It seems that you can't get the heaven and earth tripod. The consequences are very serious. Dragon dust is so clever. Minglong Tianzhao deliberately mentioned the heaven and earth tripod twice. How can dragon dust not be suspicious? Longchen said that the face of Minglong Tianzhao changed several times. Even if Longchen didn't guess correctly, it's estimated that it's not much worse. Nonsense, I'm the son of the Emperor of the Underworld. I don't need to exchange the power of the Emperor of the Underworld. You're so stubborn, don't blame me for not giving you the opportunity to use the heaven and earth tripod. The dark dragon roared at the sky. Boom, at that moment, the whole dragon nest stopped shaking and the whole world was quiet. Who? Dragon dust collected the blood-long knife. The blood-long knife has been abandoned. It can no longer bear the power of the stars and can no longer be used. In the face of another attack by the dark dragon Tianzhao, the dragon dust stood with his hands behind him without any defense. He looked at the dark dragon Tianzhao coldly, as if he had given up resistance. Minglong Tianzhao didn't seem to expect that Longchen didn't do any defense. If the shot went down, Longchen would die. He was stunned. The violent power recovered half in an instant. Even half of the power is enough to hit the dragon dust without weapons. You dare to speak hard. You don't dare to kill me before you get the heaven and earth tripod. A sneer appeared at the corner of the dragon dust's mouth. The action of the dark dragon Tianzhao has proved all his guesses. Go to hell, the dark dragon Tianzhao roared, and the spear surged and stabbed the dragon dust. Obviously, he was completely angered by the dragon dust. Because everything is as Longchen expected. The Ming dragon Tianzhao sacrificed himself to the Ming emperor. As a sacrifice, he will be absorbed by the Ming emperor. But he was unwilling to die. He prayed to the emperor. Finally, he succeeded. The emperor promised him a chance. However, the emperor asked him to take back the tripod that the dragon dust shattered his weapon. The emperor realized that it was a divine weapon that even the emperor had a crush on. This shows that the bronze tripod in the hand of the dragon dust is one of the 10 chaotic artifacts. Through the test of the Emperor of the Underworld, he obtained the supreme divine power, jumped from a 3-star destiny to a 9-star destiny, and obtained the blessing of the power of the Emperor of the Underworld. His strength soared to the extent that he was afraid of himself. But he knew that all this was given to him by the God of the Underworld. If he could not complete the task given to him by the Emperor of the Underworld,
the emperor of the underworld would not only recover all his strength, but also make his life worse than death. This is a secret that no one knows except the Emperor Ming and him, but now, the guy Longchen has guessed 8 or 9 times, which makes the Emperor Ming and Dragon Tianzhao both afraid and angry. When the secret is known by others, it will make people uneasy. The dark dragon Tianzhao looks ferocious, and the dragon gun in his hand surges and stabs the dragon dust fiercely. Boom! Suddenly, there was a startling explosion. Ming Long Tianzhao's arm shook violently, his arm became numb, his long guns were shaken off, and the man stepped back hundreds of feet. The dark dragon was shocked. He reached out and grabbed the long gun that had been shaken off. He looked in front of Long Chen. He saw a huge thunder shield in front of Long Chen. Hundreds of millions of thunder symbols on the shield circulated and overlapped again and again. Behind the thunder shield, there was a beautiful girl standing. Humble Terran, now you can only rely on external forces to survive? The dark dragon Tianzhao was surprised and angry. He knew that the dragon dust had a thunder spirit, but he never thought that the thunder spirit had grown to this point. It is reasonable to say that Lei Linger belongs to the spirit body, and she is also a naturally violent spirit body. According to common sense, she is absolutely unwilling to be controlled by others. Therefore, the person who controls the spirit body will never allow the power of the spirit body to approach the master, otherwise she will be in danger of being eaten back. However, today's Lei Linger has the spirit of a saint, and the power of thunder shocked the dark dragon Tianzhao almost to spit out a mouthful of blood. How can he not be surprised? External force? That's funny. Is your dragon gun an external force? Is the power of the Ming Emperor an external force? Even how did your destiny come from? Didn't you count it in your heart? Can you use your head before you speak? Dragon dust sneers. Even if you can use external force, I don't pay attention to a mere Lei Ling, the dark dragon Tianzhao roared. While talking, he waved a dragon gun and killed the dragon dust. Don't pay attention? Long Chen smiled. He looked at Lei Linger and said, "Before, you always complained that I didn't let you do your best. Come on. Now the opportunity comes. Don't give me face. Try your best." In that case, Brother Longchen, after you are reliable, protect yourself. When Lei Linger heard Longchen's words, a smile appeared on her delicate cheek, and her eyes became sharp for a moment. Then Lei Linger's long purple hair was windless and her long skirt danced, and a thunder symbol appeared in the center of her eyebrows. The thunder symbol was tied with chains. When he saw those chains, Longchen was surprised. Seal, dragon dust didn't expect that Lei Linger could seal his strength. Seeing here, dragon dust immediately retreated. Just then, the dragon spear of the dark dragon Tianzhao stirred and stabbed with the supreme power, but Lei Linger caught it with his small hand. However, the great power of the dark dragon Tianzhao was irresistible. Lei Linger was pushed back, and his feet plowed a big ditch on the earth. Saint Ray Seal, open. Lei Linger yelled, then the chain on the symbol in her eyebrow broke, and then the violent thunder gushed out like a volcano. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4586, Boom, Lei Linger was surrounded by thunder symbols, and the violent force rushed in all directions, like a waterfall washing the world. Dragon dust, however, felt a terrible force pushing him, which could not resist him at all. He rushed him upside down and hit the wall of Wanlong's nest, which collapsed into a big pit in an instant. Long Chen's heart jumped wildly. He looked at Lei Linger as if he were possessed by Thunder God. He never thought that Lei Linger would be so terrible when he broke out with all his strength. Although Lei Linger had fought before, she could always fight with her own power. But now it's different. Long Chen let her break out with all her strength. She directly untied the seal. At this time, her strength is like a runaway Mustang out of control, so she asked Long Chen to stay away, because her strength is not divided between enemies and friends. When Lei Linger untied the seal, the violent power broke out, and the dark dragon Tianzhao was the first to bear the brunt. The thunder torrent made him fly. Minglong Tianzhao was shocked and angry. In the torrent of thunder, he couldn't control himself. At this time, he seemed to be in heaven's disaster, and everything couldn't help himself. Minglong Tianzhao tried to recapture his spear, but the spear was covered by the power of thunder. The violent power of thunder made half of his body numb, and his palm was as painful as thousands of needles. It has to be said that the dark dragon Tianzhao is very terrible. If other strong people just bear the thunder power of Lei Linger, they will directly explode and die. Because the power of Lei Linger at this time is the purest power of holy thunder, that is, the thunder born by the immortal strong when they cross the robbery. The realm of immortality has 3 levels: immortality, the Holy One, and the Holy King. When these 3 realms cross a robbery, they will all attract holy thunder, but different realms will bear different thunder forces. In the chaotic space, dragon dust threw into the bodies of unknown strong people. After being swallowed by the black soil, the thunder power left in their bodies during the robbery was gradually released. Although the power of thunder contained in each corpse is not much, the power of thunder that can stay in their bodies is the most pure and easy to subdue and absorb. Lei Linger is bathed in such holy thunder every day, and has gradually been able to use the power of holy thunder. However, her contact time with holy thunder is still too short, just like a beggar. She suddenly has Jinshan and Inshan, but she doesn't know how to control wealth. Lei Linger is very smart. She learned to seal herself. Because the sealed thunder force can't swim outside the body, she has to integrate with its body quickly. This is the fastest way to improve her control. Last time Lei Linger shot, Lei Linger didn't dare to unlock the seal at that time. Because of lack of control, the power of Sheng-Lei will be like a runaway wild horse. Once released, the power is scattered, and it is difficult to form an effective attack. But after this period of growth, Lei Linger has been able to barely master part of the power of Saint Ray. Although it is only a small part, Lei Linger is full of confidence. Little Lei Ling, dare you be arrogant? Get away! The dark dragon roared in the sky. The black chi on his body burned in a moment, and the supreme power erupted. The black chi was the power of the Dark Emperor and was ignited by him. Boom! There was a startling explosion. The dark dragon Tianzhao and Lei Linger retreated at the same time. Lei Linger's hand was broken, and the dark dragon Tianzhao was shocked to see Venus, and suddenly a mouthful of blood gushed out. He never thought that a thunder spirit could resist the power of the Emperor of the Underworld. You know, it was the power of the Emperor of the Underworld. Even if he could only control so little, he already had the power to destroy the sky and the earth. However, this trace of the power of the Emperor of the Underworld could not help a thunder spirit, which made him surprised and angry. What he doesn't know is that Lei Linger's thunder power comes from heaven's robbery. The power of Emperor Ming can easily kill any creature, but it is greatly reduced to Lei Linger. The power of Emperor Ming can't completely restrain the power of heaven. Lei Linger's body shook slightly, and the endless thunder symbols on the broken arm condensed into a new arm in an instant. Boom! A long gun appeared as 2 peas in the hands of Rei Ling, and the long gun was black as ink, with dragon scales on it, which was exactly like the dragon gun in the dragon sky. This is a magic weapon composed of the power of thunder, but it is composed of black thunder. Black represents divine punishment, death, and destruction. Dragon dust will have some black thunder more or less during all previous robberies, and the more powerful dragon dust is, the more black thunder there will be. This black thunder not only represents power, but also represents the will to destroy the law of heaven. Lei Linger in the past could not condense this will to destroy alone, but as Sheng-Lei nourished her body, I don't know when she had this power. In fact, she may have had this power a long time ago, but she didn't know it. Facing the powerful dark dragon skylight, she felt that she needed a magic weapon, which must be the integration of her strongest strength. Even she didn't expect that she summoned the destruction thunder. Facing the fierce attack of the dark dragon Tianzhao, Lei Linger didn't flinch. Instead, he stepped out and stabbed out the black thunder gun in his hand. Boom! The 2 identical guns as 2 peas were all together, and the explosion of the gods destroyed the sky and the earth. The whole dragon's nest burst open, and the endless dragon fossils flew, and those who were hiding in the channel were strong and dragging out. The weaker ones were directly killed by the earthquake. The two smashed the 10,000 dragon nest of the Ming dragon family, and the dragon dust was stunned. Although he knew that Lei Linger's strength might have surpassed him, he didn't expect that she had been so strong. The great power of the Emperor of the Underworld can't be resisted by a guy without wisdom like you. The dark dragon roared in the sky. His long hair danced and his face was ferocious. He fell into madness. Just now he went all out, but he was still shocked. He couldn't imagine that someone in this world could resist the power of the Emperor. Boom boom. The dark dragon Tianzhao went crazy. The spear danced. The sound of dragons singing rang through the world and stabbed and smashed Lei Linger. Lei Linger holds a long gun. Although she is petite, her strength is endless. In the face of the fierce attack of the dark dragon Tianzhao, she doesn't give in and makes a crazy rush. Boom, then there was another startling explosion. The dark dragon Tianzhao and Lei Linger retreated at the same time. Lei Linger pointed to the dark dragon Tianzhao with a black long gun. His eyes were cold and fierce, and he didn't say a word. At this time, the dark dragon Tianzhao was disheveled and his eyes were red. He didn't take any advantage of the strong attack just now. He couldn't even deal with a Lei Ling. The frustration made him almost crazy. Suddenly, Minglong Tianzhao turned his head and looked at Longchen. It didn't matter. I almost killed him. He felt that his lungs were about to explode. At this time, the dragon dust set up a table on the edge with 4 dishes and a pot of wine. He looked at this side while eating and drinking. He was so happy that he almost didn't let the dark dragon Tianzhao collapse directly. I present you an at. The dark dragon was crazy, and a crown-shaped rune burned in the middle of his eyebrows. His breath suddenly became cold and terrible, as if possessed by something. www.mylovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4587, Boom, the dark dragon Tianzhao roared and killed the dragon dust. Lei Linger blocked it, but he shot it and flew away. Lei Linger was shocked. The power of the dark dragon Tianzhao increased too much in a moment, and this enhancement seems to be not a quantitative change, but a qualitative change. Lei Linger was shocked to find that his power could not effectively damage the dark dragon Tianzhao. Is this the will of the Ming Emperor? So what? I beat the Ming Emperor. Long Chen said something and lifted the table. The wine and vegetables on the table flew straight to Minglong Tianzhao. However, the table was shaken into powder by the vigorous wind he attached before it was close to the dark dragon sky. Sorry, Long Chen's bloody long knife appeared again. Facing the dark dragon skylight, he had to use it again. Boom, dragon dust cut it out with a knife. As expected, the bloody long knife could not bear the power of his stars. It burst into pieces under the impact of the dragon gun. However, it also completed its final mission. It successfully took the long gun of the dark dragon Tianzhao to the side. The body of the dark dragon Tianzhao ran straight to the dragon dust and hit it. The ferocious face was almost pasted in front of the dragon dust. The dragon dust almost instinctively slapped him in the past, and there was a loud bang. Minglong Tianzhao was knocked over, but dragon dust's big hand was blurred with blood and flesh. The power of the Emperor? Although the palm of Long Chen's hand was painful, at that moment, he touched the essence of the power of the Emperor. It is an unparalleled power, beyond all laws, can only look up, irresistible, it is a desperate power. At this time, the dark dragon was attached to the body by the power of the Dark Emperor. There was no weakness in the whole body. It was impeccable at all. I just don't believe this evil. The palm of his hand was shocked by the power of the Emperor of the Underworld. Instead, it stimulated the anger of the dragon dust. He stepped out one step and approached the sky of the Emperor of the Underworld. The dark dragon Tianzhao roared and fought back with a long gun, but they were too close and the dragon gun was too long, which made them very clumsy. Long Chen waved his left hand and slapped him again. Minglong Tianzhao was reeling again. How powerful is dragon dust? Let alone flesh and blood, even high mountains can be broken with one palm. However, on the face of the dark dragon Tianzhao, it seems that there is a force to block the palm of the dragon dust. The blood marks are exposed on the face of the dark dragon Tianzhao, but the skin of the dragon dust's big hand is cracked and blood flows. Roar! The dark dragon Tianzhao roared. He wanted to fight back. Pa Long Chen has another big mouth on his face, and his counterattack is directly interrupted. Long Chen gnashes his teeth and scolds, "Is the emperor great? Pa, I haven't been beheaded. Pa, get a puppet and pretend to be a big-tail wolf? I smoked to death. Pa. Dragon Dust's big hands bow from left to right. People are like ghosts. He can't avoid being drawn by fate, and he roars with anger. At this time, the huge movement here attracted countless strong people around to watch. As soon as they arrived, they saw the dragon dust slapping the dark dragon sky. The dark dragon Tianzhao held a dragon gun and shook it from side to side. Each slap was firmly drawn on his face. To outsiders, it was like a son who made a mistake and was being taught by Lao Tzu. God, what do I see? Is the world crazy? The dark dragon sky shines in the dragon region, but it has stirred up endless turmoil. He once said wildly that he wanted to unify the dragon region and claimed to be the strongest expert of the generation in the dragon region. In a few days, the top Tianjiao of all races was defeated in a row. Not only did he never lose, but no one could survive 10 moves in his hands. The dark dragon sky light appears very strange. It appears in people's sight for a very short time, but its power has shocked the whole dragon region. Originally, the top 10 experts in the dragon domain have not been shaken for many years, but the emergence of the dark dragon Tianzhao makes people feel that this ranking is about to change. The time when the dark dragon Tianzhao appeared was too short, and when he appeared, the top 10 experts were closed, and he had no chance to challenge them. However, Minglong Tianzhao defeated the 13th strong man in the dragon domain. In his hands, the strong man did his best and only insisted on 9 moves. Moreover, Minglong Tianzhao looked extremely relaxed. People are sure that Minglong Tianzhao has the strength to enter the top 10 or even the top 5. Therefore, although Minglong Tianzhao did not appear in people's vision for a long time, his name has been remembered by countless people. The 10,000 dragon nests were shattered by the earthquake, and countless 10,000 dragon nests around felt a violent shock. Countless strong people ran to see what happened. Then they saw the dark dragon sky light that was artificially discharged into the top 10 strong men in the dragon region. They were slapped in the face like Lao Tzu's son. They were so surprised that their chin was about to fall to the ground. Dragon Dust's body method is strange and he is good at close combat. The power of the dark dragon Tianzhao is reflected in his weapons. In close combat, the weapons have become a burden to him. Dragon Dust seemed to stick to him. No matter what he did, the slap of dragon dust could always be accurately drawn on his face. Although he has the power of the dark god to protect his body, he will not suffer fatal damage, but every slap will make his eyes look like Venus. I don't know where the world is. Dragon Dust's slap on the face, the physical injury is still the second, and the spiritual humiliation is the most painful. Minglong Tianzhao was stunned. In order not to get his face, he suddenly hugged his head with both arms. As a result, Long Chen didn't continue to slap his face. Instead, he grabbed his hair and pressed it down. At the same time, his strong knees bumped against the bridge of Minglong Tianzhao's nose. Bang bang! The popping sound was changed into a popping sound, and the sound changed from crisp to dull. However, the sound of the latter made people feel sour in the nose and cold in the back, as if everyone could feel the pain of the dark dragon Tianzhao with every violent impact. At this time, all the people present were silly. What happened to the dark dragon Tianzhao, so that it was abandoned? Why not fight back? In their opinion, the moves of Dragon Dust have no skills to speak of. They can resist casually. They don't know why the dark dragon Tianzhao is beaten but doesn't fight back. What they don't know is that Minglong Tianzhao doesn't want to fight back, but can't fight back. At this time, he seems to be trapped in a nightmare and can't wake up. He has no ability to fight back for the close combat of Longchen. He was furious, but there was no way. The only thing to be thankful for was that the attack of dragon dust could not cause strong damage to him. He could last a long time. Now his only idea is to have a knowledgeable man to help him out. As long as someone attacks Longchen, he can seize the opportunity and open the distance to kill Longchen with all his strength. However, after being beaten for so long, his men, like ducks listening to thunder, did not move. His anger surged. Do these guys have to let him speak? In this way, don't you admit that you have failed? Boom. At this time, the strong men of the Dark Dragon family finally reacted from the shock. The invincible god of war in their mind was not deliberately showing weakness, but was unable to fight back. All the strong men of the Dark Dragon family killed them at the same time. Thunderstorm. At the moment when the strong man of the Dark Dragon family rushed up, Lei Linger had already prepared a big move for a long time and poured it down. www.miloveneval.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4588 Boom. I don't know when, after the 10,000 dragon nest collapsed, the void on my head was covered by thunder clouds. When the strong people of the Ming dragon family wanted to come up to support the Ming dragon Tianzhao, thunder swords poured down in the thunder clouds. Be careful. The strong men of the Dark Dragon family changed their faces. They even ignored Lei Linger. When they reacted, they had already been covered by endless thunder swords. Puff, puff. The strong of the Dark Dragon family fought back strongly. Some weak strong of the Dark Dragon family were hanged in a moment. The power of thunder broke out and flesh and blood flew. The picture was very tragic. However, the experts of the Dark Dragon family were like clouds. More than a dozen 7-star strong men rushed to Lei Linger, and more than a dozen dragon guns pointed at Lei Linger at the same time. Unexpectedly, these dozen people shot in a neat and uniform way, and all forces were connected together, which was similar to an array. Boom! With a loud explosion, the thunder gun crossed the void, and more than a dozen people flew out. Everyone's blood gushed wildly. In front of Lei Linger, more than a dozen people still didn't see enough. Dark dragon essence and blood lock heaven and earth. After more than a dozen people vomited blood at the same time, suddenly the blood essence they vomited turned into endless runes, forming chains. The chains were intertwined, forming a huge net. Lei Linger didn't expect that these dozen people still had such cooperation. When she reacted, the chain net had enveloped her. When Lei Linger saw that he couldn't escape, he snorted coldly, opened his jade hand and grabbed it directly at the chain net. Boom! Lei Linger's thunder force broke out, and the chain net roared and burst, with countless cracks. But what Lei Linger didn't expect was that the chain giant net was very strange and could not be broken. You know, at this time, she used the power of Sheng Lei and couldn't destroy these chains. Lei Linger feels bad. He smashes the chain net with his right dragon gun. Although the net is weak, it has been damaged. Lei Linger is still confident to break it with one blow. Roar! At this time, all the living Pluto dragons roared at the same time. Each of them shot a bloody chain and tied it to the edge of the chain net. When Lei Linger's long shot was on the chain net suddenly trembled, and the strong men of the millions of Pluto dragons in the presence snorted at the same time. At that moment, Lei Linger's face changed. Her blow was passed to every strong person of the Dark Dragon family present through the strange net. In this way, his power was equally divided by these people and could not form effective damage. Lei Linger felt something bad. No one could have imagined that the Dark Dragon family would know the art of joint attack. Lei Linger was just trying to break free from the chain, when the earth burst open. At her feet, a chain net also appeared. The two big nets closed and trapped Lei Linger firmly in it. At that moment, Lei Linger had no way back. She struggled with all her strength, but her strength was divided equally by millions of strong Lei Long people, but she couldn't make it out. At this time, dozens of the top strong men of the Ming dragon family saw that Lei Linger had been trapped, immediately separated from the chain net and rushed to the dragon dust. They don't care to kill Lei Linger. They all know that with this array, they can only trap Lei Linger at most. It's impossible to kill Lei Linger. Their goal is to rescue Minglong Tianzhao. Dead, a strong man of the Dark Dragon family, holding a dragon gun, was the first to rush in front of Long Chen and stabbed him at the back of Long Chen's heart. It was a powerful 7-star destiny. He hit him with all his strength. He didn't make any defense and wanted to die with Long Chen. Boom! There was a loud explosion. At the moment when the man's long gun was about to stab Long Chen dodged strangely. The long gun stuck to Long Chen's body and stabbed the chest of Minglong Tianzhao. What? The strong man of the Nether Dragon family was shocked, but it was too late to accept the move. Boom! With a bang, the Dark Dragon Tianzhao was stabbed in the chest by the strong man of the Dark Dragon family. However, at the moment when the long gun stabbed him, the divine light on the Dark Dragon Tianzhao lit up, and a great force came. The long gun was shaken back, and the strong man of the Dark Dragon family gushed blood. His attack can't hurt the Nether Dragon Tianzhao with the power of the Nether Emperor. At the same time, he was shocked and burst into blood. Poof! At the moment when he vomited blood, Long Chen kicked his head, turned his body and pulled out one hand. The man's attack disrupted the rhythm of Long Chen. Minglong Tianzhao seized the opportunity and was about to retreat, but how could Long Chen give him this opportunity? If he was pulled away, his advantage would disappear. Pa! Dragon dust slapped accurately on the face of the Dark Dragon Tianzhao, who turned and ran away. This blow surprised the strong people who were watching the battle. At this time, Long Chen's body is almost twisted across the void. Kicking and kicking are carried out almost at the same time. The strong people present have never seen this strange trick in their life. The ghost dragon Tianzhao, who just thought he could escape, was slapped over by Long Chen. Then Long Chen opened his bow from left to right, and his big mouth was as fierce as no money. Minglong Tianzhao fell into the previous chaotic situation again and was pulled around in a circle. The onlookers of the dragon family were surprised and funny when they saw this scene. At the same time, they were deeply shocked by the strength of dragon dust. In their opinion, Long Chen didn't want to kill Minglong Tianzhao at all, just to humiliate him. Just like a cat teasing a mouse, he played Minglong Tianzhao between his hands. But what they don't know is that Long Chen doesn't want to kill the Ming dragon Tianzhao, but he has the power of the Ming Emperor. Long Chen can't kill him at all. Since he could not hurt his body, he could only humiliate his soul. The body method of Long Chen was like a ghost. He waved his hands round and greeted the face of Minglong Tianzhao. I saw that Minglong Tianzhao continued to close his arms and hold his head to prevent Long Chen from pumping his face. Then Long Chen seized the opportunity, grabbed his hair with both hands, firm knees, and violently hit the bridge bone of Minglong Tianzhao's nose. The bang made people's scalp numb. People see this familiar scene again. They look strange. Isn't it back to the previous picture? At this time, the strong people of the Dark Dragon family together trapped Lei Linger, and the top strong people came to support the Dark Dragon Tianzhao. However, the figures of Dragon Dust and Dark Dragon Tianzhao move rapidly, like a top. If you try your best, it is easy to hurt the Dark Dragon Tianzhao by mistake. They were all making tentative attacks, circling around the two people, but they couldn't find a suitable next cell phone meeting, and their foreheads were sweating. A group of fools attacked indiscriminately and killed with the ghost dragon blood. Ouch! The ghost dragon Tianzhao roared. As a result of his roar, Long Chen's knee hit his front teeth and broke them immediately. But the strong men of the Dark Dragon family hesitated. If they hit together, what if they killed the Dark Dragon Tianzhao? Come on! The Dark Dragon roared at the sky. As soon as the strong men of the Dark Dragon family clenched their teeth, suddenly the more than a dozen 7-star destiny people raised their long guns at the same time, and then a cold breath locked the dragon dust and the Dark Dragon skylight. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4589 Buzz. The chi and blood of each 7-star destiny person soared to the sky, burning a raging flame. The dragon gun in their hands pointed to the dragon dust and the dark dragon sky light. On the tip of the gun, endless runes lit up, and there was a spirit of killing in heaven and earth. In a moment, they were swallowed up by these long guns. At that moment, even the faces of the strong onlookers changed. This is the killing skill of the dark dragon family. After burning the blood essence, their power will connect together. This is a super move. Once their power is connected, they can no longer control it. This move will drain all their power. This blow will destroy the sky and the earth. The dark dragon and the sky shine. Is he going to die with this man? No, is he crazy? People outside don't know what dragon dust and Minglong Tianzhao have experienced, and they can't understand why they want to do this. But when more than a dozen top Tianjiao of the dark dragon family worked together to launch a big move, their faces changed at that moment. Buzz, at the beginning, dozens of top Tianjiao of the dark dragon family burned their blood essence, which was just equivalent to lighting a flame. Once the flame was lit, it would be out of control. Dozens of people lit a raging fire. The terrible high temperature distorted the world. That was their life fire. Dragon dust, you idiot, I have the power of the dark god to protect my body. An immortal body. I see how you can resist this move. The dark dragon roared at the sky. Buzz, at this time, dozens of divine lights came out, gathered together on the way, and formed a huge divine light, which came straight to the dragon dust and the dark dragon sky. At that moment, there was a dead silence between heaven and earth, and time seemed to be stationary. The power of this blow made everyone smell the smell of death. Get out! At the moment when the divine light came, the dragon dust kicked on the butt of the dark dragon Tianzhao. The dark dragon Tianzhao was out of control and hit the divine light straight. However, the divine light covers thousands of miles, and the dark dragon sky light is not enough to help the dragon dust cover the attack. Boom! There was a startling explosion. The heaven and earth were submerged by the divine light. The void where the dragon dust and the dark dragon Tianzhao were pierced, and endless space-time fragments flew, as if they had pierced a divine light tunnel. From that tunnel, you can see endless distorted pictures. At that moment, people were stunned. This blow was beyond their understanding. The divine light disappeared, the big hole pierced by the void was healing, and in the huge hole, a figure was coughing up blood. It's the light of the dark dragon. He's not dead. Someone exclaimed. It's too terrible not to die like this. Minglong Tianzhao didn't die. If he didn't cough up blood in his mouth, people would even think he wasn't hurt, which stunned the spectators. Buzz, at this time, not far from the sky light of the dark dragon, the divine light fell. I saw a bronze tripod on the head of the dragon dust. It also appeared. Similarly, it was undamaged. Seeing that they were hit by such a terrible attack, they didn't die, which made the strong men of the dragon clan open their mouths to the extreme. Waiting is now. The dark dragon Tianzhao coughed up blood in his mouth, but his eyes were full of a successful conspiracy smile. He suddenly pointed out, and a divine light burst out and exploded on the top of the dragon dust. The divine light turned into a black silk screen. As soon as it appeared, the exclamation of the heaven and earth tripod rang out in Longchen's mind. It's a net made of royal blood silk. He's really prepared. Once I'm caught in the net, the power of the curse will quickly consume my source, and he'll fall asleep again. Emperor Blood Silk is the silk vomited by the strange beast of the same family of Emperor Ming. It has amazing toughness and almost no weapons can cut it off. It is said that Huangshue silk can be stretched infinitely. It can be stretched as long as the world is big. It is said that the ghost emperor's blood silkworm belongs to one of the most evil beasts in the 9 days and 10 earth. It eats rotten corpses and ghosts in the underworld. The silk vomited not only contains highly toxic, but also has the power of terrible curse. Emperor Ming knows that I must still be weak. This net just conquers me, dragon dust. Find a way quickly. Heaven and earth ding dao. Don't worry, since I dare to use you, I'm not afraid of his playing een. Dragon dust sank into his voice. Seeing the net covering itself, the dragon dust rushed out of the passage against the heaven and earth tripod. You can't run away. This royal blood silk net is a treasure given to me by the great Emperor Ming. It specially receives your heaven and earth tripod. Unless you don't get out of the heaven and earth tripod, once you get out, it will automatically track you from heaven to earth. You have no way to escape, ha! Ming Long Tianzhao laughed and changed his previous embarrassment. His biggest goal is the heaven and earth tripod on Long Chen. He has always wanted to force Long Chen to use the heaven and earth tripod, but Long Chen just didn't use it. Now he ordered his men to fight together, which is actually a kind of trick. He knew that if he didn't have the power of the dark god to protect his body, he would also die under the attack of everyone. So he has to bet that if Long Chen doesn't want to die, he will use the heaven and earth tripod, and once he uses the heaven and earth tripod, his task will be completed. In this passage, the dark dragon Tianzhao is unable to attack the dragon dust. He wants to use the disappearing power of the dark god to escape the passage quickly, otherwise he will be trapped and die here. The same is true of Long Chen. He needs the power of heaven and earth ding to resist the power of time and space, otherwise he will be hanged by the turbulence of time and space. Ming Long Tianzhao threw out the imperial blood silk net and began to flee rapidly. His task has been completed, and the rest will be handed over to the imperial blood silk net. The heaven and earth tripod on the top of Long Chen's head fled quickly. Fortunately, the imperial blood silk net seemed very light and slow. It followed Long Chen's back and approached slowly. At that moment, Long Chen felt that he was stared at by a haunting eye. No matter where he fled, he couldn't get rid of it. Hoo! At this time, Long Chen and Ming Long Tianzhao escaped from the channel at the same time. The channel was closed instantly. If they took one step at night, they would stay in the channel forever. Buzz, Dragon Dust's chaotic space trembled, but there was no response. I knew that once it was used, I wouldn't want to take it back. Dragon Dust cannot recover the heaven and earth tripod into the chaotic space, nor can it be included into the soul space. Although it doesn't envelop me, it has marked me with a curse. As long as it is around, you can't put me away. Heaven and earth ding dao, with a dignified color in its voice. Kaka. At this time, the royal blood silk net on the top of Dragon Dust began to slowly close to Dragon Dust. At the same time, the broken rock wall in the whole dragon nest began to decay and collapse rapidly. Haha, Dragon Dust, you'll see where you're going this time? The dark dragon Tianzhao was panting at this time. The light of the dark god on his body had begun to dim slowly, but he was very excited. Escape, just a broken net. Do I need to escape? Dragon Dust sneers. Suddenly, Long Chen's eyes closed tightly, and then one eye opened. In the black divine light in that eye, 3 flowers flowed. Purgatory 3-flower pupil. The Dragon Dust broke his drink, and the 3 flowers in his eyes flowed. A huge 3-flower pattern emerged between heaven and earth, enveloping the imperial blood silk net. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4590 Buzz. The pattern of 3 flowers appears on the void. The center of the 3 flowers is the royal blood silk net. You're not dying? When the Dragon Dust used 3 flower pupils, the heaven and earth tripod screamed. When Sanhua locked the Huangshue silk net, Long Chen's eyes were in sharp pain, as if they were about to crack, and the blood flowed down along the corners of Long Chen's eyes. The Dark Emperor's blood silkworm is the same family as the Dark Emperor. The blood follows the Dark Emperor's control of the laws of the underworld, with the power of the laws of the underworld. What are you doing? Heaven and Earth Ding exclaimed. I want to put him into chaotic space, this baby I want. Long Chen's eyes hurt violently, as if they were about to crack, but he still insisted. The 3 flowers in the eyes flowed, and the 3 flowers in the void locked the imperial blood silk net and turned slowly with it, but the imperial blood silk net trembled, and the pattern of the 3 flowers couldn't move it. You're crazy. It's impossible. You don't understand the existence of the Ming Emperor. In front of him, you can't even count mole ants. You can't charge for shaking it. Heaven and Earth Ding loudly said that he was shocked and helpless by the madness of dragon dust. Maybe Longchen doesn't know what the Ming Emperor means, but Chen Kuan-ding knows that the gap between the two is too big to be described by a quantifier. The only card you can play against it now is the Golden Lotus Seed. Call it out and try. Heaven and Earth Ding reminded. No, I want to try. You. The Heaven and Earth tripod was speechless. Boom, boom. In the left eye of dragon dust, the black three-flower pattern was still rotating slowly, and the void rattled. At that moment, the dark dragon sky in the distance was stunned. Others didn't know what the royal blood silk net represented, but he clearly knew that it was a sacred thing given to him by the Emperor Ming, and told him that the Heaven and Earth tripod didn't appear and would never be used. The Emperor's blood silk net was attached with the Emperor's blood and will. When he took it, he felt his soul tremble, and the dragon dust even controlled it. On the void, the huge three-flower pattern locks the imperial blood silk net. The two forces are fighting against each other. It seems that the action is small, but the huge force makes the whole world change color. Although the strong people who watched the war in the distance did not know what the imperial blood silk net was, they were also experts. They knew that it was a very terrible thing, and Long Chen launched pupil surgery in his left eye and trapped the imperial blood silk net in the void. The picture made everyone tremble. Buzzing, buzzing. The purgatory eyes of dragon dust trembled, and the endless dark force seemed to be awakening. Gradually, the royal blood silk net began to rotate with the three-flower pattern. At that moment, the Heaven and Earth tripod was surprised. Is this power? The dark dragon Tianzhao was also surprised. Although he didn't know the pupil technique, he felt bad when he saw that the imperial blood silk net began to rotate slowly with the three-flower pattern. Buzz, the dragon spear in the hand of the dark dragon Tianzhao surged and turned into a black light. He stabbed at the dragon dust. He wanted to interrupt the pupil art of the dragon dust. Boom, a burst of fire burst into the sky. A girl in red appeared and hit the dragon gun. She failed to stop the dragon gun, but changed the direction of the dragon gun. The dragon gun flew past the dragon dust. Pa! The dark dragon was shining in the sky. The dragon gun crossed a strange arc and fell into his hands. He rushed to the dragon dust again. With me, you don't want to go there. Destroy the world fire lotus. Huolinger scolded, her hands were sealed, and a colored flame rose and shot at the dark dragon sky. Boom! There was another explosion. The spear of Minglong Tianzhao pierced the fire lotus. The sound of dragon singing was loud, and the fierce flames flew all over the sky. Obviously, Huoling Air could not stop the Minglong Tianzhao. Although the Ming Emperor's brilliance of the Ming dragon sky has begun to dim, it has not completely retreated. Huolinger is not as powerful as Lei Linger and cannot shake the power of the Ming Emperor. There is a strong barrier between the two. Flame prison. When Lei Linger saw his power of fire, he was even ineffective to the power of the Ming Emperor. He was angry and anxious, and his hands continued to seal. Boom boom. Endless flames rise between heaven and earth, and columns of flames rise like a prison, trapping the dark dragon and the sky. It's too much for the mantis to stop the car. The dark dragon roared and waved his dragon gun fiercely. The pillars of fire burst into pieces. Others dare not easily contaminate the pillars of fire, but he has the power of the Dark Emperor to protect his body and can ignore the flame. Whether it's the ice soul divine flame, the fire of the Taiyin, or the fire of the sun, it is isolated by the power of the Ming Emperor. The damage can't be transmitted to the Ming dragon Tianzhao. Huolinger was restrained. Huolinger is very anxious. She wants to save Lei Linger. She knows that only Lei Linger's holy thunder power can barely compete with the power of the Emperor. But at this time, Long Chen is at a critical moment. She has no way but to resist desperately, but her strength can't cause damage to the dark dragon Tianzhao. She can only watch him approach Long Chen step by step. Boom! The dark dragon Tianzhao broke through the block of Linger and rushed to the dragon dust. He stabbed the dragon dust fiercely. Suddenly, the dragon dust moved, and his purgatory eyes looked at the dark dragon Tianzhao. At the moment when he was seen by the eyes of Long Chen, the hair of the dark dragon stood up, his soul trembled, and the space in front of him was distorted. He missed the target and passed by Long Chen. At the same time, he was shocked to find that the space seemed distorted, and he was tens of thousands of miles away from Long Chen. Boom! At this time, the void roared and the three-flower pattern circulated. The imperial blood silk net seemed to have been controlled and also circulated with the three flowers. At that moment, the dark dragon was in a great hurry, roared, rushed through the obstruction of Huelinger and rushed to the dragon dust again. "Get out!" Dragon dust roared, and suddenly slapped on Minglong Tianzhao's face. With a loud bang, Minglong Tianzhao was slapped by dragon dust and flew out. The voice of bone cracking made people sad. The slap of dragon dust directly broke the body protection light of the dark dragon Tianzhao. The huge force made half of his face collapse, and people rolled out like a meteor. It turned out that the power of the Ming Emperor summoned by the Ming dragon Tianzhao had reached the limit. Coupled with the obstruction of Huelinger, it consumed a lot of the power of the Ming Emperor, and the slap of the dragon dust became the last straw to crush the camel. If Long Chen takes the opportunity to make a move at this time, Minglong Tianzhao will suffer a great loss. However, Long Chen has no mind to deal with him now, but puts all his strength on the imperial blood silk network. But just after a distracted blow, the Huangshue silk net, which had been rotating slowly with three flowers, stopped rotating. At that moment, Long Chen's heart was cold for a moment. This means that all his previous efforts have been in vain, and his purgatory eye has reached the limit and can't let him start again. At this time, his left eye was in sharp pain, just like a soldering iron burning, and the blood had dyed half of his face red, which looked very terrible. "Shit, keep the green mountains. Don't worry about firewood. Get out of here." Dragon dust broke his drink. Suddenly the rune on his left eye lit up, and the three flowers in the void suddenly burst into pieces. The three flowers burst into pieces, forming a huge vortex, like a huge mouth, devouring the imperial blood silk net. When the vortex disappeared, the imperial blood silk net also disappeared. At the moment of the disappearance of Huangshue's silk net, Long Chen's left eye was in sharp pain and lost all his vision for a moment. At that moment, Long Chen was furious. He turned his head and looked at the dark dragon sky in the distance. His voice burst out from his teeth. "Little son of a bitch, dare to spoil my good deeds. Today, I'll cramp you and peel your skin." www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4591, Boom. The Kunpeng's wings trembled behind the dragon dust. People rushed to the dark dragon sky like a meteor. The dragon dust was covered with stars and smashed with a fist. The dark dragon Tianzhao was shocked. The dragon gun was blocked in his hand. With a bang, the dragon dust and the dark dragon Tianzhao retreated at the same time. Poof! The dark dragon Tianzhao took a mouthful of blood, and his heart was shocked. Up to now, the strength left by the dragon dust is even more than him. Go together and kill him. At this time, the top strong men of the dark dragon family roared and killed them at the same time. Although they released powerful attacks before, this is the 10,000 dragon nest. The ancestral scales are still in the void. Their recovery speed is very fast. Now they have recovered 50% or 60% of their power. Although they are much worse than those in the peak period at this time, whether it is dragon dust or dark dragon Tianzhao, they have experienced an unparalleled war and become the end of a powerful crossbow. They still have the strength to fight. Buzz, suddenly, the fire spirit disappeared, the dragon dust mouth recited the sutra, and the sacred and solemn sound of chanting the sutra resounded through the heaven and earth. The flame in the dragon dust's hand rose, and a huge flame lotus appeared. Can he release big moves? The spectators in the distance were shocked at this scene. Although they didn't see the battle between the dragon dust and the dark dragon Tianzhao at the beginning, they were stunned by the battle in the middle and later stages. In their view, whether it's dragon dust or dark dragon sky light, they don't have much strength. However, when the flame lotus in the hands of Long Chen appeared, the heaven and earth trembled, the heaven and earth changed color, and the violent power of flames swept through the heavens. The terrible power made the soul tremble. They didn't expect that Long Chen still had such terrible power at this time. Annihilating fire lotus, dragon dust roared, and the flame lotus in his hand grew rapidly, swallowing the whole dragon nest. This is a big move formed by the integration of dragon dust's soul power and flame will with Huelinger's flame power. Boom! When the 10,000-mile fire lotus landed, the flame exploded, and the flame ripples hit in all directions like a rough sea. Puff puff! Countless strong people of the dark dragon family were blown into powder and turned into nothingness in the fire. When the fire raged, there were fewer than 100 strong people left of millions of strong people of the dark dragon family, and the rest disappeared. This blow spread to other 10,000 dragon nests. The rock walls of some 10,000 dragon nests were burned and collapsed. Even in some places, you can directly see the ancestral scales in the core of other 10,000 dragon nests. Those who watched the war hid in the cave before. When the fire raged, they saw the scene in front of them and took a breath of cold air. Long Chen breathed heavily and fought continuously. He had reached his limit. After releasing this move, he had a headache and a golden star in his eyes. Using the purgatory eye, he had a super load, especially on the soul. Buzz Kunpeng's wings trembled behind the dragon dust and rushed straight to an earth bag on the earth. Suddenly, the earth bag exploded, and the figure of Minglong Tianzhao appeared. He's not dead yet? The spectators were shocked. The blow of dragon dust was directed at the dark dragon Tianzhao. It is reasonable that he suffered the strongest attack and was still alive. This guy's life is too big. Buzz, dragon dust smashed at Minglong Tianzhao with a fist. To everyone's surprise, Minglong Tianzhao took a man in his hand and took that man to meet dragon dust. Poof! With a bang, the 7-star destiny was blasted by the dragon dust. In the blood rain, the dark dragon Tianzhao rushed directly to the ancestral scale with the power of blocking. Lei Linger, stop him! Dragon dust suddenly thought of something. It was too late for him to catch up. Lei Linger broke away from the control of the strong of the dark dragon family and regained her freedom because of the exterminating flame of dragon dust. She heard the call of dragon dust and sealed her hands. Buzz, a wall of thunder stood in front of Zulin and blocked the way of Minglong Tianzhao. Blood sacrifice to dragon teeth, the dark dragon Tianzhao shouted, and a mouthful of blood sprayed on the long gun. The long gun roared and burst, as if he had come back to life, and the ancestral scale seemed to have been summoned, and a divine light appeared on the ancestral scale. Poof! The divine light passed through Lei Linger's thunder wall and pulled the dark dragon Tianzhao like a rope. Poof! Dragon dust's attack just arrived. The shadow of the dark dragon Tianzhao has disappeared, and the dragon dust fell into the air. The body of the dark dragon Tianzhao was integrated into the dragon scale and disappeared. There was a roar from heaven and earth before the dark dragon Tianzhao disappeared. Dragon dust, wait for me. When I surrender the scales, I want you to kneel on the ground and repent. Dragon dust was so angry that he patted his thigh directly. Unexpectedly, it was still a step slow, allowing the dark dragon Tianzhao to enter the dragon scale space. Senior, do me a favor and break this dragon scale. I'll kill this bastard stew. Dragon dust sway to heaven and earth. Don't make trouble. If I smash it, it will be polluted by its blood. Now I don't have enough strength. It's very difficult to remove it. In addition, although you dragged the royal blood silk net into the different space, it has been staring at us. I don't know when it will appear again. And you should be prepared. It's the royal blood silk net. It can't be destroyed at all. It's staring at us like a maggot. We can't get rid of it at all. Your eyes are seriously injured this time. It will take some time to recover. You should hurry to get down to business and don't waste time with this boring guy. The heaven and earth tripod is helpless. Will it still appear? Long Chen was surprised. He couldn't collect the imperial blood silk net, so he used the power of the purgatory eye to send the imperial blood silk net into the space tunnel. It is reasonable to say that the royal blood silk net will be involved in the endless space turbulence and will never be seen in the future. You can't imagine the difficulty of the royal blood silk net. Do you think it will drift away from you when it is sent into the turbulent flow in space? You think too well. It will come back, and when it comes back, it will become stronger. We don't have much time left. You need to become stronger. Otherwise, when we cooperate in alchemy in the future, we will call it Heaven and Earth. Tripod warned. Hearing this, Long Chen's heart pounded. He just got the 8 stars pill. The precious medicine hasn't been collected yet. If Chen Kuan-ding didn't help him, he would be finished. What should I do now? For a time, Long Chen's mind was in chaos. Stupid, what are you doing here? The Heaven and Earth tripod is not good. Long Chen was stunned. He didn't know whether it was because he used the purgatory eye. He felt that his thinking was not as flexible as before. You're here for Emperor Scale. Is it interesting for you to waste time with this guy? Heaven and Earth Ding Dao. Yes, when Long Chen patted his thigh, he came to the Emperor's scales. Just as Long Chen was about to get up, Chen Kuan-ding said, "It's meaningless for you to go to the Emperor's scale now. Go to the White Dragon family and help you recover through its divine power." Long Chen nodded. When they swept their eyes to the battlefield, Lei Linger and Hua Linger had come back. Without Long Chen's command, they had killed all the people of the Ming Dragon family, leaving no one alive. At this time, there are huge ghost dragon corpses everywhere. Those who can leave corpses here are the strong among the strong. The dragon dust collects them all into the chaotic space, and then floats away in the frightened eyes of countless strong dragon people. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.